What?
Orgasm like a woman every time I orgasm.
Oh my God. What the fuck? Okay, well, we're watching that. That's piqued my interest. Anyway, I'm gonna run that ad now. If you don't want to miss out, dude, subscribe, boys and girls. Okay. Here's the 1 minute ad break now. Little Bill 2626, thank you for the 5 get the subs that will now render 5 people the freedom to not see the ads. Can we talk about Will Smith puking and shitting? I Kid Nichols, thank you for the 5 get the subs as well.
Orgasm like a woman every time I orgasm, as much as I do as a man, and often more as a woman than I do as a man.
They start talking about Serge as if he's a god.
Love is the truest and highest form of intelligence.
This is Serge Ben Hayon, and back in 1999, Serge was bankrupt. Lucky for him, he had an epiphany while sitting on the toilet. Now he makes millions selling miracles and strange ideas about sex to thousands of rich people who think he is God. But not everyone agrees.
My dude is jacked, dude. He's brawling.
A jury has deemed a socially harmful cult.
Unimed's founder is not a doctor. Serge Ben Hayon is a former bankrupt tennis coach.
He is bad news. He has some very sick attitudes to human beings. He's a sleazebag.
A man who tells us that he is a descendant of a great line of teachers from Buddha to Jesus, that he's the reincarnation of Leonardo da Vinci.
He preys on vulnerable people. He cares about nobody except himself. He's a monster.
Serge sitting on the toilet and giving birth to a cult is kind of symbolic of the quality of the whole thing, really.
This is what happens when you skip No November? True, dude. Absolutely true. It's right. You're right.
The organization that Serge leads is called Universal Medicine. His 2,000 followers in Australia, with numbers growing in Europe, the US, and the UK, yet has been dogged by accusations of abuse and brainwashing. And in 2019, an Australian jury found that an allegation that it is a socially harmful cult was substantially true.
It has to be.
This is what happens in other countries that actually have a criminal justice system that is still relatively functioning. Okay? Better than ours. Why doesn't he just come to America, forehead? Just come to America. We literally celebrate cult leaders. Hasan's 350Z, thank you for the 5 get the subs.
He said that he does destroy relationships. He does destroy other people's lives.
But to his flock, Serge isn't a cult leader at all. He's their new messiah, the reincarnation of Leonardo da Vinci, a mystical healer who can see the future and says there's a master race of 9-foot-tall aliens who go around sniffing humans.
Spirits have a mid-grey coloured thin body, long fingers. They are all equally 9 feet tall and have no feet.
But for every person who worships Serge, there are more who despise him. Esther Rocket has been on a mission to fight universal medicine ever since she had a hands-on healing session with Serge in 2004. Back then, he was still inviting women to his house for treatments including esoteric breast massage.
Bro, every cult, you know how every conspiracy theory ultimately revolves around like anti-Semitism? Like a lot of conspiracy theories always have like anti-Semitism. Like it just has to have it, right? Every cult ultimately has sex involved in it, okay? Every fucking cult, it's gotta have sex stuff. You can't have a cult without fucking, dude.
Serge decided that he should read my ovaries. I was pretty unimpressed, and I...
It's just like, my ovaries felt unread, right? I went in there hoping to get my ovaries read, right? And this fucking guy, this fucking cunt, can't even read them. Unimpressed is the funniest way to describe a charlatan who touched the inside of your body.
I said immediately, no, I don't want that. But he put a bit of pressure on, and he sort of made out that I was overreacting, and he did put his hands on my lower abdomen, just above the pubic area. And the first thing he said to me was, when you were 5 years old, a man in your life let you down. He kept going up these ages until he reached my teenage years, and he sort of said that a man in my life had tortured me. And that's when I got this idea that Serge was not really a healer, he was a predator.
Esther was suspicious of Serge, but had already booked a ticket for one of his group healing workshops, so went along to check it out.
He had about 60 people in this room on treatment tables, and he'd closed all the curtains so that it was completely dark. People would have these very strong physical reactions. They'd start shaking, some people would start screaming, they'd cry. And he said that some of the emotional reactions was because some of the people in the room had been angels in a past life, and they'd been persecuted and tortured, and they'd been raped. So I came out of that feeling pretty traumatized, I guess, and even more worried. I thought again about going to the police, but what do you tell them? This guy's...
What is this, like a cheat code for sexual assault? Like doing mass sexual assault, as long as it's like, you know, in the name of a cult, you just don't go to jail for it? Like, what the fuck is that?
Doing exorcisms on people.
Several years later, Esther was alarmed by news reports about the growth of universal medicine. She started publishing investigations about Serge online, and in 2015, he sued her for defamation. But when the case was put in front of a Supreme Court jury in Australia, they came down on Esther's side. Not only that, they declared that universal medicine is a socially harmful cult. They said that Serge was a charlatan who made fraudulent healing claims and had indecently touched clients. They also said he had an indecent interest in girls as young as 10 who stayed in his house while he was giving them tennis tuition.
One of the girls that stayed in Serge Ben-Hayan's house was Miranda Smith, and she moved into his home. She was a tennis pupil. She met him when she was 13. She moved in when she was around 14 and lived with him pretty much full time for a few years. She's now married to Serge.
Serge was married to someone else when he had his epiphany, but there's little sign of a grudge between the two women. Serge...
Dude, I'm telling you, every fucking cult, dude, it's like sister wife shit. Of course, pedophilia, sister wives, it's like, dude, this is, you know, this is like the most average Utah family, you know?
Serge likes to keep it in the family. Today, both of Serge's wives help lead universal medicine. Many families have been torn apart, with parents, kids, husbands and wives abandoned by their loved ones. That's what happened to Robin Clifford, whose marriage fell apart after his wife chose to devote herself to universal medicine.
I kept telling myself it was just a phase. Oh no, it was a lot more dangerous than that.
His ex-wife Anita discovered universal medicine while grieving for her parents. Robin says that over the course of just 2 years, the woman he'd fallen in love with disappeared completely.
Up until the death of her mother.
Scientology, straight up. That's the same thing that happened with the cult leader's wife in Scientology, right?
She was great, actually. Just to the point I was starting to think, do you know what? I really love this woman. You know, bang! It all went pear-shaped on me. They tore the inside out of her and replaced it with something else.
A number of people he's treated have been severely ill. Judith McIntyre met Serge while suffering from cancer. Immediately, Serge saw an opportunity.
Spread to organs, and I've got very little time. And the truth is, I feel excited.
Judith McIntyre. In the end, she left Serge around 1.4 million.
Oh my God, dude. That is fucking insane. Dude, holy fuck, dude. Taking advantage of people that are like dying from cancer. Holy shit.
Australian dollars. That was the majority of her estate. So this was a case of these followers literally choosing Serge over their children.
According to universal medicine, If parents leave money to their kids, both they and their children will suffer when they are reincarnated in the next life. This is pretty convenient when many of your followers are rich old people.
I have seen...
Bro. Shut the fuck up. Okay? Fossabot gave you a timeout already, but holy shit. He's working with jinn, typical of magicians. He's working with jinn, typical of magicians. He's a sorcerer. He works with demons. Don't you realize that, like, you're fucking also crazy? Like, it's not just... Wait, why can't I ban this motherfucker? What the fuck? Are you working with jinn? Bro, you also are just as crazy. You're the type of dude who would get duped by this guy, okay?
One will that somebody forwarded to me where a person who owns a business, reasonably well off, she's left everything to Serge and his daughter, Natalie. People were leaving him money for some time. These weren't isolated events.
Life must be tough when someone you love falls under Serge's spell. If he's not trying to get you written out of your parents' will, Serge can usually be found pumping people's heads full of strange ideas about sex.
We're robbed of a richer aspect of making love, but we're not robbed of that at the making love or the sexual point. We're robbed of that at the livingness point. In other words, we're not living our immortality, we're not living our wholesomeness.
While us mere mortals are forced to stay in our sexual lane, Serge claims that when he climaxes, he experiences both the male and female orgasm simultaneously.
When you orgasm as a hermaphrodite, the orgasm is quite spectacular.
It's unlikely that these are triggered by porn, however, which universal medicine hate. A man who went along to one of their group sessions claims he felt a follower playing about near his rear end. When asked why, the follower said that he had been pulling out a bad energy snake out of his anus. Apparently, they can take up residence down there if you watch too much Pornhub. Serge also says that when a man ejaculates inside a woman, she takes...
Most normal swerve, by the way. Most well-adjusted swerve, dude.
...takes on board all of his bad energy.
It's absolutely astonishing, the power that he has to convince my wife that I was a monster.
Universal medicine's theories about alcohol are weird too.
He teaches that when you drink alcohol, it causes a break in your aura, and so that entities and evil energy can enter you. If you drink more, then at night time, when you jump into bed, these entities will leave your body and rape the women in your household.
For example, if I had an entity that was sexually active while I sleep at night, and it leaves me at night, and it goes and rapes my daughters while I sleep.
Kids also get a raw deal with universal medicine.
Links between universal medicine and a family and community services office in northern New South Wales has prompted the matter to be referred to the Child Protection Watchdog.
Serge said that children living with disabilities or who have been sexually assaulted.
Bad energy snake in the anus, also known as a normal ciswed video. The least intrusive and the least strange ciswed video is the bad energy
are being
anus.
Punished for their errors in a previous life. That they might be the reincarnations of corrupt politicians or evil dictators.
I don't get it. Like, is it a double jeopardy thing? Like, if you're literally a cult leader, they just like can't pop you for fucking pedophilia? What is happening here? Like, they shouldn't be trying him for, you know, selling fake cures or whatever. They should be trying him for child molestation, child endangerment, you know, scamming people, sexual assault. There's like a million different things. It doesn't make sense.
Gets me unpopular, these things, but I have to say it anyway. If you have been sexually abused, then you have been an abuser.
It probably doesn't help kids either when their parents believe eating just one meal a day can bring them closer to God.
There was a case in Lismore where a 10-month-old baby was admitted to hospital, to the emergency room, nearly dead due to near starvation. And the parents were very close adherents of universal medicine. I think he told his followers that carrots are as bad as heroin, that kind of thing. I mean, this is mad stuff.
While many of Serge's ideas may seem ridiculous, whether it's the heroin carrots or the anal energy snakes, they have a very real impact on people's lives. Universal medicine has hundreds of followers in the UK.
Have you ever seen this dude called Dr. Shea? He's an OG chiropractor turned naturopathic healer from the 80s who's probably the only guy who I believe thinks he's actually a healer. He's got a smooth-ass voice and he follows the script. He measures differences in leg length and stuff. Deep fried territory here. Late night algorithm discovery for me. Sort of the starting point of this stuff. No shot is he a real fucking healer, okay?
UK. One mother lost custody of her child in 2020 after refusing to cut ties with the group, whose strange ideas seem to be catching on in Britain.
I was at home with the kids.
Wait. Oh, the mother lost custody of the child. Okay, got it. I thought they literally I thought they gave the custody of the child to the cult. For a second, for a brief moment, I thought they were like, no, the cult owns your child now.
And she came home. She started burping all over the place, going, bleh, bleh. And after a while, we said, what on earth are you doing? And she said, I'm getting rid of evil spirits.
Serge isn't capable of miracles, but his reinvention from failed tennis coach to international cult leader feels like something approaching one. This is a man, remember, with no medical qualifications, yet still, people pay thousands just to hear him speak. Although Serge lost his court fight with Esther, maybe he's...
I got it. Chatter said the person believes they're a fucking real healer, okay? The person himself believes that he's a real healer. I understand. God damn, dude. I wasn't even being aggressive with that. Chatter. Chill out.
Still has one ace up his sleeve. A master race of extremely tall aliens with no feet who he says are keeping a constant watch over humanity. He says that with his help, his followers can become more highly evolved than the rest of us schmucks walking on Earth. And he says these aliens can sniff out highly evolved humans as they walk among us.
It is said that a spirit can smell a son of God.
Fact. And that happens everywhere. You can be in a train and a bus, you are being smelled all the time.
Whether these aliens are real or not, universal medicine continues to grow and Serge continues to lead it.
We've done the gun cult before. Wait, Japan Strangest cult? There's more?
Celebrity seances. Political parties. Anime films.
Oh, there's an anime cult. Anime cult alert. Oh my god, being a weeb is already a fucking cult. Oh shit, what the fuck is about to happen in this one? Oh my lord. Oh, we have the fucking court cam too. God damn, we got some fucking content lined up, dude. Some freaking content. Called Twitch.tv. Yeah, this is an anime cult. Straight up.
We have the media.
We have the most normal, dude. This is the most normal fucking, the most normal anime watchers, dude. That's just how it is. The thing I was gonna say. Video about the animes? Wait, someone made a video about just the anime?
Right now. Perhaps starting with $15 for a CD that repels a certain virus. But that's not all. Through the power of seance, he's even spoken to a wide range of famous secular figures throughout. You don't get rich writing science fiction. If you want to get rich, you start a religion. L. Ron Hubbard said that a few years before a very lucrative career change, and while the pay gap from stockbroker to indie messiah is a bit slimmer, one has to imagine similar thoughts running through the head of Takashi Nakagawa.
That's the craziest part about Elron Hoyabembe, who was a black man, by the way, for those of you who don't know. But the strangest part about Elron Hoyabembe is the fact that, like, he just straight up was a science fiction writer. Like, it's not like the motherfucker was, you know, like, it's not like he was hiding it. He was just, like, writing about aliens and shit beforehand. Does no one know the meme? The Elron Hoyabembe was a black man? Fucking Eric Andre meme.
As he plotted his exit from the New York office of a prestigious Tokyo trading.
Here, let's fucking do it. Let's do it. Hold on. I'll just show you that before we get into this. One of my favorite sketches.
Not a lot of people know this, but L. Ron Hubbard was a black man. Truth. His real name was L. Ron Hoyabembe. Who do we want? Xenu. When do we want him? 10 trillion years. This sounds like a Diplo song.
L. Ron Hubbard is the true God. Black, there is no hell.
There is no. No. Is that what? Is that part of my belief system? Yeah, that's right. No hell.
Yeah. Battlefield Earth should have been a Tyler Perry movie.
That's right.
Dude, it's funny because, like, this is just, you know, black Israelites also operate. First of all, they're wearing black Israelite garb, okay? And secondly, it's not even, like, fucking strange for New York. This is just the most normal, you know, New York gathering of black Israelites for the most part.
I'm the second coming of Jesus Christ. Prove it. Take a poop in front of us.
And then turn it into wine.
Turn that poop into wine.
Turn that poop into wine. Turn that poop into wine. Turn that poop into wine. Turn that poop into wine.
L. Ron Hoyabembe was a black man. Oh, man. He might have had an L in front of his name, but he was catching dubs left and right, if you know what I'm saying. Oh, let's get back to this other call.
Ever since, he's gone by Ryuho Okawa, El Cantare to his marks, disciples. For the followers of Happy Science, already Japan's biggest and most influential religion, according to itself, see him not just as their founder and leader, but as God's own vessel on Earth. That's God's with the apostrophe after the S. See, Okawa is Elohim, Buddha, Hermes, Thoth, the king of Atlantis, El Miore, god king of ancient Venus, and a few other deities he made up, all rolled up into one big super god, who also happens to be best buddies with all the other gods and prophets of every other world religion, especially whichever one will convince you to give him money right now. Perhaps starting with $15 for a CD that repels a certain virus. But that's not all. Through the power of seance, he's even spoken to a wide range of famous secular figures throughout history, like Albert Einstein, Princess Diana, Margaret Thatcher, Freddie Mercury, Justin Trudeau, Donald Trump, and Barack Obama, some of whom, you'll note, aren't even dead yet. He's just that good. And all of whom, when asked, will tell you that Japan has never committed any war crimes ever, and also they really need to remilitarize and maybe carpet bomb North Korea. Coincidentally, that's also the official platform of the Happiness Realization Party, Happy Science's political arm, which would be very worrying if they had anywhere near the 11 million worldwide followers they claim to have. Lucky they're lying. But as every megachurch pastor knows, it's not about the size of your congregation, it's about how hard you can milk them. And milk 'em Happy Science does, to the tune of a reported $45 million in annual revenue, which they use, among other things, to commission lengthy and ludicrous anime depictions of their scripture. And that, of course, is why we're all here today. Selling fake medicine to the sick and vulnerable during a pandemic and co-opting people's deeply held spiritual beliefs in order to lighten their wallets is just good old-fashioned capitalism after all. But using anime to do it? Now that's some real fucking blasphemy right there. And since turnabout is fair play, starting today, I'm gonna use everything I know about mocking bad anime and deconstructing dumbass world building to eviscerate all 8, soon to be 9, of Happy Science's feature-length dumpster fires. This part will cover the first 3. I am taking a pretty big demonetization risk doing this video. YouTube ain't so great at separating criticism and satire of extremism from the real deal. And on top of that, I'm not running a sponsor on this video because I don't want to expose anyone else to the cult's ire. So if I make you laugh today and you want to see the rest of these roasts, all I ask is that you leave a like and comment and consider subscribing and sharing this around. Also, just to warn you in advance, the video quality won't be great. The only sources dedicated to preserving these movies are the YouTube channels of various Happy Science branches, where they were uploaded like a decade ago, dubbed with hard-coded subtitles. So yeah, sorry. If it helps, try to think of it as part of the dodgy cult aesthetic. Now, real quick, before we get to the movies, there is one other Happy Science anime we need to talk about. Clocking in at just 15 minutes, the 1991 OVA Shiawaset Nani is mostly a footnote in the history of Happy Science, but it's extra footnotable for also being a footnote in the history of, I shit you not here, Kyoto Animation. In fact, it was their first ever solo anime, and it marked the directorial debut of Tatsuya Ishihara, who's currently leading Maid Dragon S. It's neither of their best work. In fact, it's pretty much the worst and ugliest thing either the director or the studio has ever made, but everyone's gotta start somewhere, even if that somewhere is cult propaganda. Not that you'd really know it from the OVA itself. The story follows a kid who's bummed out because a teacher yelled at him as he meets an angel and goes on a flying Nimbus ride, then falls into hell for a couple minutes where he learns a valuable lesson about how being sad is bad and smiling more, even when everything objectively sucks, makes the world a brighter place. Literally, by making the golden marble in your soul glow, but also figuratively, because smiling at his mom means she's not mad when his dad has to stay late at work, which in turn allows him to work harder and make more money, and when she spends that money, that makes the shopkeepers happy too. It's definitely a strange and bad story, devoid of logic and helpful advice, but no more so than any half-baked after-school special. And because all its supernatural elements are framed as a dream, if you don't know who made it and you're not familiar with the sun iconography and feelings-based cosmology of Happy Science, it's easy enough to mistake for generic Christian fluff with some weird visual metaphors. The rest of these films, though, are unmistakable in what they are. Hermes Winds of Love opens on a very 90s CGI space shuttle for no apparent reason, with the narrator telling us in no uncertain terms that what we're about to see is 100% factually accurate, real ancient Greek history. Then about 30 seconds after that, we see a Pegasus chasing a golden feather through a sea of clouds and Buddha lotuses. The feather falls down to Earth, passing by some actually gorgeous animation and backgrounds. The cult clearly paid Toei a lot for this, before it reaches an old man under a tree who immediately leaps up and starts rattling off prophecies about how the future king of Greece is about to be born right here on Scythia. Then the wind carries that feather up the hill to the palace, where it flies off screen and presumably up the queen's coochie to make that happen. And the resulting child's name is Hermes, who was a real guy, actually, and not a god on Mount Olympus. For some reason, that one random old guy's rambling is deemed important enough to reach the ears of the evil tyrant King Minos, or possibly Minos. They pronounce it literally every possible way in this dub, and that's a running theme with these movies. But he's just like, nah, Scythia's too small to beat me. Cut to 26 years later, though, and we see this Hermes fella's gotten pretty good at riding horses and knocking other people off of their horses. So Minos and his massive technologically advanced army might want to double think that. We then learn, through the extremely organic and seamless exposition delivery system of two children running around town discussing what woman could possibly be beautiful enough to bang their prince, that there's a gorgeous princess named Aphrodite locked up in a castle on Lindos. The film then introduces her through a skinny dipping shot, because religious propaganda or not, anime's gonna anime. And then Hermes begins stalking her. Like, he visits her window 12 times in 6 months by rowboat, despite her refusing to talk to him and actively hiding from him every time he shows up. But don't worry, it's not really stalking, because he's got a really strong feeling that he and this woman he's never talked to are meant to be together. Which they are, and not just in this life. They'll be married again in the future when they're reincarnated as Ryuho Okawa and his wife, Kyoko Okawa. Spoilers for the movie's post-credits scene, I guess. The divinity and predestined love of this couple is one of the core beliefs of happy science and one of the core elements of this film's narrative, so it sure would be awkward if they ever got divorced in 2011, and then Kyoko was excommunicated from Happy Science for revealing to the press that despite their claims of over 10 million members worldwide, the real number is closer to 30,000, and then their son also disowned him and...
Okay, there is 0% chance... There is 0% chance that this does not feature, like, some kind of CIA funding or something, dude. Okay? Because, like, this strikes me as, like, Falun Gong, but for Japan, you know what I mean? They preach the prosperity gospel, okay? Yeah, 30,000 people. There's more people in that cult than people watching me right now because I fucking fell off. Plus L, plus I'm white, plus ratio. I should start a cult. That is wild. By the way, just saying the cult leader is a divorced dad, I mean, it's... a song called Plus You Ruined the Lira's Value. Yeah, the cult of poggers, dude. This is like, this is giving me like straight Falun Gong vibes though. Like their foreign policy points of view for some weird fucking reason. All of this like why?
Started publicly bashing the cult. He's got a YouTube channel, by the way. Spoilers for real life after this movie came out, I guess. Anyway, sometime in the last 26 years, that one thing King Minos is actually known for happened, and after locking his mutant bull son and wife in the labyrinth of Knossos, he becomes the most evil thing Happy Science thinks there is. An atheist. Also, he started wearing a bullhead luchador mask and making his soldiers use cow print shields, just really committing to the bit, you know. As a result, Minos is also in the market for a new wife, and he's got his eye on Aphrodite, but after window shopping way too many times, like it really kills the pacing of the movie, Hermes does finally decide to commit in an embarrassingly cringy musical number. Which is followed a month later with a daring, action-packed rescue, where the army of Rhodes nearly catches our heroes with their high-speed triremes, but then, just in time, a mystical golden fart cloud catches their sails and carries them away. Could that be the wind of love? The news of this, of course, enrages King Minos.
I will send my troops to Scythia and kill every man, woman, and child!
Which would be super exciting and dramatic if he actually remembered to do that, or anything at all before Hermes rolls up with an army to kill him in like 20 minutes. Instead, on a peaceful day in Scythia, Hermes takes his new wife on a stroll up a hill where they happen to meet those kids from before, looking like they just popped out of the Akira Elderly Child Labs. Suddenly, though, the children disappear, storm clouds kick up, and out of the maelstrom emerges Mufasa. Sorry, that's Ophelis, the creator god of Greek mythology that Happy Science made up, who tells Hermes that it's his destiny to unite Greece, starting with the defeat of Minos. To facilitate this and beat the stated 50-to-1 odds against his army, Hermes forges an alliance with Theseus, who's then sent to Knossos undercover as a hostage to recruit the help of Minos's, quote, sane and religious daughter, Ariadne. He takes a thread from Ariadne and does the thing Theseus does down in the labyrinth, freeing the other hostages and killing an admittedly pretty sick-looking Minotaur in a very rushed and unsatisfying fight scene. Then, with the other hostages, he starts burning down the palace while Minos is charging out to meet Hermes' army for a very rushed and unsatisfying battle.
The palace! The entire palace is on fire! What are we
Shut up, you fool! All troops, head back to the palace now!
Turning around opens him up for an ambush from the woods, defeating most of his army. Then Minos himself dies in a hilariously stupid sword fight back at the palace. At which point, there is still an hour left in the movie somehow. To say it loses the plot from here would be an understatement. Hermes spends some more time up on that hill, learning to meditate and literally watching grass grow under the instruction of Ophelis, which gives him some kind of epiphany about the sun or life cycles or something. It's a scene as pretty as it is vapid and mind-numbing. As a reward for his efforts, Ophelis reveals to Hermes that they are actually one and the same, both incarnations of the great god El Cantare. He then bestows upon himself, I guess, a mystic staff with boundless spiritual powers like being a dowsing rod and a fish finder, and that's about all we see it used for in the movie. It apparently has zero utility in rescuing Aphrodite's still kidnapped blind mom, which Hermes instead does using good old-fashioned violence. In retaliation, the army of Lindos catapults the ever-loving shit out of Cydia, which Hermes and everyone there kind of just takes in stride after burning their ships. After the battle, he moves the capital of his growing kingdom to a port town to start a new trade alliance that completely reshapes the political landscape of Greece, but that's not nearly as important to the story of this movie as the fact that his wife can't conceive, apparently, which is a choice for the goddess of fertility. Aphrodite goes off to a pond to cry about it, lamenting that her husband, nay, her whole nation, would be better off.
Shut the fuck up, One Piece Andes. Yes, that was Loop Song. Loop Song can never pause. I said, shut the fuck up, One Piece Andes. Oh, Hasan, have you seen One Piece? You should watch One Piece. You should watch One Piece. Oh, you have a piece of this dick? Okay.
If he just screwed some random hussy behind her back. And to reward her selfless love, the goddess of love, who, I guess, isn't her, shows up and shoots Aphrodite with a baby-making arrow. And she tells her to name their son Eros, which isn't what Hermes and Aphrodite's child was called, but I guess this right-wing cult didn't want to deal with all the implications that come with hermaphroditus. Once the kid's born, Hermes goes to pray at the temple of Ophelis, where those horror children show up once again to reveal that they are actually Agape and Pan, a pair of fairies who present him with a pair of sandals. You know the ones with the wings. They're a bit small, but they stretch, and after putting them on, Hermes realizes that instead of flying, they grant him the power of astral projection.
Low-key Greek mythology is an anime, though.
Which first takes him out into space, and then, down to heaven, which is a field of flowers.
Also, speaking of Greek mythology anime, the Netflix one was not good. Straight up.
There we get to learn some interesting this is what Scientologists actually believe type happy science lore, like how every flower contains a fairy that decides when it'll bloom and what color it'll be. Or how there used to be mermaids on Earth, but they all got sad and went away because humans don't think about how pretty the ocean is enough. Also, there's a magic lake full of fireworks somehow, and also fish that sing at you to smile more, which kinda sounds like hell. But then Hermes goes to actual hell, where all the bad men get turned into scary-faced trees, and their branches get broken off by demons to cook all the bad women and eat them. But where, you ask, do those demons come from? The baddest guys turn into those, and of course Minos, being the baddest bad guy there ever was, has turned into an ultra demon, and he's about to kill Aphrodite
This literally is better than the Netflix anime.
back on Earth by making the sky overcast because something power of darkness, so they have to fight right now. And it is epically okay. Nothing you haven't seen before in a million other anime. Also, apparently the all-powerful staff isn't useful for fighting demons either, so much for that setup. At least the trash talk's decent, though.
You are such a bad loser, Hermes.
Right when he's on the ropes and the Earth on the verge of doom, Hermes realizes, oh right, I'm God actually, and an army of angels descends from the sky in golden space boats to pump Ganon full of light arrows, saving the day, which teaches us the valuable lesson that God is invincible, and all you have to do to defeat evil is believe, and most importantly, be happy. The film ends with Hermes giving a big clifftop speech about love to his wife, with some shot choices that are extra funny when you remember what's going to happen to this relationship in 4,311 years.
Once the wind stops blowing, it ceases to exist. Just like when one person stops loving another, love also dies.
That said, Okawa's new wife, Shiho, is apparently an earthly incarnation of the Earth herself, Gaia, and any dude who's sexing up the entire planet is obviously winning so hard that no amount of mockery could ever possibly hurt him. Not that that'll stop me from trying. On to the next movie. Oh, and, fair warning, that was probably the least insane one of these. The second movie, Laws of the Sun, isn't really a movie at all, so much as a condensed animated cult gospel outlining the true history of the universe and human civilization in its entirety. A timeline that's wrong from literally the first femtosecond of time, as it says the Big Bang happened 40 billion years ago, which is approximately 27.5 billion too early. Extra time that they don't even do anything with, since nothing happens after that until the eternal Buddha decides to start experimenting with organic life on Venus, which happened 5.5 billion years ago, or 1 billion years before our solar system even existed. Which I only bring up because Happy Science claims to be a fusion of religion and science, and how hard is it to double-check your fake timeline against an encyclopedia, you lazy hack? Anyway, after spending 2 billion years making cool-looking anime critters, El Miore decided it was time for humans to happen, and so began a great spacefaring Venusian civilization that lasted the next billion years. Unfortunately, that civilization was just so loving and harmonious that they couldn't evolve anymore, and so the loving, harmonious, eternal Buddha blew them all up with volcanoes and sent their ghosts to oversee evolution from scratch on Earth. Then, 2.1 billion years after that, or 400 million years ago, El Miore changed his name to El Cantare and brought a bunch more of the Venus ghosts to Earth to become humans again, which beats actual science's earliest estimates of human presence on Earth by a cool 300,700,000 years. Once our population reached 770 million, El Cantare decided to invite humanoid aliens to Earth to learn from us. Because the planet had a bit of a dinosaur infestation going on at the time, the first race invited was a warlike species of cat people with laser guns and hoverboards, watched over by the three great ninth-dimensional alien spirits, Jesus, Confucius, and Moses. But after they dealt with that pest problem, it turned out the not Catarl were kinda assholes, and so 270 million years ago, that would be 40 million years before the first known dinosaur fossil, El Cantare invited a new wave of 1 billion nicer space immigrants, this time from Orion. And with them came 3 more great ninth-dimensional spirits, Hinduism's first man Manu, the future Buddha Maitreya, and Sir Isaac.
Bro, they did the Islam thing, which is pretty cool, where they added all the other religions to the canon, you know, because like the Abrahamic religions acknowledge the existence of ones that came before it. So they basically are pulling the Islam on this. Brilliant.
Isaac Newton. Just to be clear, I am quoting this movie almost verbatim right now. 140 million years after that, 2 billion more aliens came here from Pegasus, bringing with them 2 more great spirits, Zeus and Zoroaster. By this time, the human spirit group numbered 40 billion, with aliens accounting for just 10% of Earth's population, so to help them multiply, the great spirits built a Pytron, which is apparently a thing that clones souls or aliens or something. It's not entirely clear. Unfortunately, the alien clones started doing sex and drugs and stuff, which corrupted their souls and dragged them down to the bottom layer of the spirit world, turning it into hell. Then, 120 million years ago, when a bunch of angels murked one of those cat boys I was talking about for apparently the crime of having a harem, he led a rebellion in hell, making everything worse. Let me reiterate that, in case you missed it. In happy science, the devil is an alien cat boy. Your religion ain't got shit. Under his influence, dark clouds covered the lower spirit realm, blotting out.
Okay, after this fucking video's over, I feel like the cult numbers are gonna double. Because the more we watch it, the more I sense members in my community going, this is actually poggers. I don't even care if it's not real. I wish it was. I want to be in a world where I believe this is real. I'm joining this psychotic fucking cult.
All light from the eternal Buddha. And so, because ghosts are solar-powered, apparently, the spirits of hell headed up to Earth to sap the energy of people with bad attitudes and possess them, which only filled hell up with even more evil spirits, creating a sort of feedback loop of eternal damnation. The consciousness of Earth eventually put a stop to Catboy Satan's machinations with some mild apocalypses, but then El Cantare thought of a better, less murdery way to purge the land of evil by filling human hearts with love and wisdom, available in book form for a nominal fee. It's here that we start getting into the more recent history of human civilization, and the movie really starts going all ancient aliens on us. The first place El Cantare decided to spread his light to was the fabled lost continent of Mu, located near present-day Indonesia, which was actually called Moa when humans first settled there 20,000 years ago, but renamed after El Cantare's incarnation, King Lamu, 17,000 years ago. Lamu, you see, realizing that primitive sun worship was no longer enough to stop his people from pushing old men over and being ungrateful to nurses, taught them about God, and instantly everyone was happy and the nation prosperous. But it couldn't last. After Lamu died, slowly but surely, people started being dicks again, and eventually those dicks got so girthy they sunk the whole dang continent. Some people of Mu sailed nearby to found the civilizations of China, Vietnam, and Japan, while others sailed far eastward to Atlantis, and I probably don't have to tell you how that turned out. Though before Atlantis did the Atlantis...
Bro, this has everything, dude. Go big or go home. This motherfucker, they put everything in it. When are the orcs coming? That's what I want to know. Like, he's gonna move into like the Harry Potter universe and shit.
This thing, El Cantare did visit them as Thoth, bringing their art, culture, and technology to new heights even beyond those of Mu. When Atlantis finally did do the thing around 10,000 years ago, its people once again spread out, this time to Egypt, Greece, and Rome, forming the basis of Western civilization.
I know there are no orcs in Harry Potter. I'm saying that it would feature both Lord of the Rings and also Harry Potter separately.
While others flew even further west to the Andes Mountains, where they became the Inca. Now, in reality, the Incan Empire was extremely recent, only existing in the 14th and 15th centuries CE, and the earliest Andean civilization, the Corral, founded its first city in 3500 BC, but I'll let all that slide because this sets up easily the funniest part of the movie. See, at some point, the Incan people got tricked by a cabal of evil, shape-shifting criminal space lizards called the Reptalians into worshipping them as gods and sacrificing virgins to them as snacks, which was only the first stage in an elaborate plan to exploit a loophole in the universal code of planetary non-interference and... Actually, I'm just gonna let the movie explain this part so you don't think I'm exaggerating.
They then intended to have their...
Wait a minute. Did they feature Moses? Or is this also an anti-Semitic religion? Oh, they did?
Compatriots immigrate to Earth so they could control the planet before the space police interfered.
Luckily, the space police weren't needed because El Cantare showed up once again, this time as Rient Arl Crowd, a totally made-up ancient Incan king, just in the nick of time to save some random girl from getting eaten. Then he defeated the high priest's feelings-based argument that those guys had to be gods because they could fly in a giant spaceship with the facts and logic of, look at this balloon though, before teaching the Incans that the secret to stopping malicious aliens from invading Earth is, again, no joke, the power of love. Later, in 4500 BCE, 1200 years before Greece was founded, El Cantare manifested again as Ophelis, the made-up founding god of Greece, and you already know how that story goes. Then, in 500 BCE, the only remotely accurate date on this timeline, he manifested one last time in India as Siddhartha Gautama, the founder of Buddhism. The film then briefly recounts the actual Buddhist legend of how he attained enlightenment under the Bodhi tree, embellishing it only ever so slightly with a big dumb anime fight against a horde of demons. Then it jumps forward 40 years to the equally famous Buddhist story of that time Buddha gathered all his followers to tell them that everything happy science believes is true, actually, and he's gonna come back in Japan 2,500 years from now as a super space Buddha more powerful than all his previous incarnations combined. Because Japan, you see, is where the Eastern and Western civilizations that he founded finally intersect, and that has never happened in any other culture or country ever. And, oh golly gosh, gee whiz, would you look at that? Japan is here, outside the theater where you're watching this movie. And 2,600 years later is now. That super space Buddha guy's already here, and right now the reincarnations of his followers are wandering around Tokyo, recognizing each other and glowing and stuff, which is the note the movie ends on. And how
JoJo stole from this. Motherfucker straight up was like stand users. I cannot believe JoJo stole from this, dude. That's fucked up. Straight up.
Happy Science's third film, The Golden Laws, picks up literally right where it leaves off, before zooming out into deep space where some Star Wars text promises to reveal the will of the primordial Buddha hidden within time. Then we zoom back to Earth, now 500 years in the future, in the land of New Atlantis, which is kind of like naming your cruise ship Titanic 2, but some idiot Australian billionaire is apparently already doing that, so I guess it's not too implausible. In the grand scheme of things, I think the bigger and more obvious mistake is just starting this movie with footage from the last one, because it really highlights how flat and garish these early digipaint visuals and CGI backdrops are compared to the lush, hand-painted look of the older movies. Say what you will about those. I know I just did, but
100% CGI ruins anime so hard. It's not often do you get an anime that's CGI that like is well done. Berserk movies are like kind of the exception. The new Berserk show, on the other hand, is literally the fucking worst thing that's ever happened. It's not a real thing, so we don't even admit that that's a real thing. When it's done well, which isn't often, it's done really well. There is no Berserk TV show. It ended years ago. There is no new Berserk anime. It doesn't exist. It ended. It ended with the CGI of the fucking... They would never try and like recreate it. Arcane? Is Arcane CGI? I fucking tried watching the first epi. I got a little bored, I'm not gonna lie.
But at least they had solid art direction that made both the historical locations and the made-up...
You know what I do like, though? Low-key. I think it's very promising so far. I've enjoyed it. Especially the first episode was fire. Hitmonkey. Marvel's Hitmonkey on Hulu is very weirdly good. Like, I have no idea where the fuck it came from. I don't know what the fuck is going on with it. I don't know who made it. I don't know why they made it. I didn't even know Hulu had like rights to fucking Marvel shit. It's actually pretty good. But maybe because like the expectations are low. I don't know. Like, or I had no expectations at all. Oh, Disney literally owns Hulu. Okay, that makes sense. I recommend it. Have you guys seen it? Has anyone seen it at all? I feel like it's like very low key.
Up lands of Venus, Mu, and Atlantis feel distinct and authentic. This just looks like literally any early 2000s sci-fi anime. But the Golden Laws does make up for that by being substantially more entertaining and deranged than either of its prequels. Like, it's basically Kingdom Hearts, only replace the Disney fairy tales with well-known stories about famous historical religious figures, and all the heartless stuff that connects it is now Super Space Buddha time travel stuff. Our obligatory plucky teen hero Satoru is studying to be a religious leader at Happy Science University Middle School, based on a real boarding school where you can really send your real children to be isolated and indoctrinated for a whole lot of real money, and as part of a research project, he picks up a copy of The Golden Laws to read. Also a real thing that real money can get you, of course, along with over 2,800 other books.
Bro, this guy invented brand integrations, dude.
Them were just transcribed from live lectures, such as The Truth of...
There's more native ad placement in this than a fucking goddamn, Beats by Dre music video, dude.
Nanking and comfort women issues. Fucking yikes. What real money can't get yet is a time machine, but luckily one of those crash lands in Satoru's backyard, carrying with it a 15-year-old girl named Alyssa who really wanted to meet him specifically when he was 15 because he's some unspecified kind of celebrity in her time, the 30th century.
Yahoo! Was one of his books called The Truth About Nanking? It is wild that like his... Bro, it's just such a weird religion. Like give up on some of the stuff. Why are you also...
Also, they're very obviously related, but the film treats that like it's a big twist. The cops quickly show up to investigate what they must think is an illegally parked spaceship, and of course, being cops, they immediately whip their guns out for that. So Alyssa's gotta get away fast, but she conveniently needs an antique 26th century iPad to get her time machine moving again, which Satoru holds hostage until she agrees to take him with her to visit 21st century Japan. You know, cause
least pushy anime character against a woman.
Super Space Buddha lives there. But no sooner are they off than a mysterious malfunction causes their machine to careen uncontrollably through all the wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff, shooting them out over ancient Japan instead. Then they warp to ancient Egypt, where they inspire a guy to chisel a hieroglyph that History Channel hosts will no doubt salivate over millennia later. Next, it's off to the Nazca lines, and finally to Babylon, where they spook the shit out of Ezekiel with a pillar of fire in the clouds. After that, Alyssa finally gets the controls working, and they head at last to modern Tokyo Bay, where they're immediately greeted by God. Godzilla.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Was that? Was that what I think it was, chat?
Tokyo Bay, where they're immediately greeted by God. God's modern Tokyo Bay, where it's working, and they head.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Wait, no way. No fucking shot. No shot. Hold on. Maybe it's just like a... Nope, that's released on 9/11/2021. Some of the chatters have no idea. They're like, is that Godzilla canon? No, dumbass. That's not what I'm talking about. Some of you chatters are new, so you have no idea what the fuck's going on. Here,
that,
listen
Alyssa
to this
finally
again.
Gets the controls working.
That is a very specific sound. And it 100% comes from a very specific meme. That's awesome. I wonder if it is.
Nothing I do is performative. So I'm not going to, for instance, I'll use Hasan as an example. I'm not going to talk to a black person like Trihex and say, hey, the N-word, it's always... What do you think black people...
What a fucking liar, dude. What a fucking Weasley little liar, dude. What a fucking Weasley little liar, dude. Holy shit, dude.
Excuse me.
Holy
sorry.
fucking
I'm out of
shit,
control.
dude.
I apologize for that.
Literally lying. Still lying to his audience. How did I notice? That sound is iconic, dude. We've heard it a million gorillion times. Wait, I gotta see what this dude's Twitter is like. Is he? I mean, listen, the reality is like this meme has transcended this community at this point, even though there are hella dudes that, yeah, he doesn't even follow me. I wonder if he just like, I wonder if he just saw the meme and posted it. He does sound pretty leftist too.
And they head at last to modern Tokyo Bay, where they're immediately greeted by God. Godzilla, that is.
That's so sick.
Okay, it actually turns out to be a generic sea serpent, but whoever made that joke with the music, I see you, and I love you. It also turns out that their readout was wrong, and this serpent happens to be in the seas of ancient Greece, not Tokyo, and you know what that means. It's Hermes time, baby! After blasting the monster with a laser from the staff of Keleukeon.
Thank you,
Hey, it
Tuna.
does a third thing.
Palico.
He uses his swollen arms to launch a golden arrow straight into its forehead, which doesn't kill it, but does act as a convenient lightning rod for the fourth thing that staff can do. After that, they pull the kids up on deck, where Hermes tells Satoru to continue his journey through time so he can find his golden treasure. Then he summons the time machine for them with his staff, which, wow, that's 5 things. And the movie's only getting warmed up. Next, they're off to ancient Egypt again, this time circa 1200 BCE, where they immediately break the nose off the Sphinx because the screenwriter was running on time travel movie autopilot, I guess. But there's no time to dwell on that cliche. We got places to be, namely the Red Sea, where Moses and the Israelites are moseying through the whole Exodus thing. Using the telepathy radio on their invisible time machine, Alyssa warns him about the approaching Egyptian army, then uses the ship's built-in hologram projector to hold them off with some non-lethal pillars of fire, which buys Moses just enough time to do the thing. After watching the thing, the kids make another jump, but the golden fart comes back to knock them out of the time stream and into India 500 BCE, just in time to meet Siddhartha Gautama, the Shakyamuni Buddha, and, more importantly, to bear witness to absolute comic gold. See, the Buddha story that they've decided to Kingdom Hearts into this one is the parallel of Devadatta, a jealous cousin of the Buddha who tried to murder him and take over his Sangha at the behest of King Ajatashatru. And the way the film chooses to present that spiritually significant story is basically like a Roadrunner cartoon. Admittedly, the original tale's attempted murder methods, death by giant boulder and elephant stampede, do sorta lend themselves to that interpretation, but it's an odd choice, if intended, to say the least, as is turning Devadatta into a scenery-gobbling Yu-Gi-Oh! Villain.
Why? Why? Why would the rock break into pieces?
This is awesome.
Don't think you can get away from me? I won't give up.
Not that I'm complaining. Every line out of this dude's mouth is pure gold. But the best part comes after the kids blow up the boulder with a laser and then the elephant rampage scheme also fails, when Devadatta comes up with a new anime original plan to kill the Buddha.
This will kill even an elephant in a second. I'll use this. A deadly poison.
You sure you don't want to, put a glove on first, buddy? Or maybe use a finger you don't chew habitually?
If you deeply repent, you can always start fresh.
Owned.
Yep. Saw that coming. Seeing the Buddha be so chill about all this makes the evil king finally realize that he's legit, and instantly all the boils he had on his face on account of being evil clear up. All of a sudden, the time machine's sleep mode alarm starts ringing, and the kids have to go, but they've been captured by the guards! Oh no! Luckily, Buddha remembers them helping Hermes later in the movie and vouches for them so they can go. And back aboard the ship, we get some of the greatest dialogue I've ever heard in anything.
Say, does your golden book have any information on how to fix a time machine?
It might. I haven't read the whole thing.
Find
Fake
it?
fan.
Well, what does it say?
The time machine will be created in the 30th century in the
Shut the fuck up. There's no shot. There is no fucking shot that the book actually, in real life.
Unfortunately, the book only goes on to detail how time travel will be outlawed shortly thereafter due to a tragic time accident, but movie, you came this close to selling me a time machine manual. From there, the kids are off to Rome in 33 CE to watch Jesus get crucified, which plays out mostly like your typical somber American passion play, with occasional injections of batshit anime insanity, like Alyssa explaining that they're the only ones who can see the angels picking up Jesus because their time machine's view screen can see into the fourth dimension where the spirit realm is. Which doesn't explain how later, when they're out of the ship for the resurrection, they can still see the golden clouds surrounding Jesus, and also Hermes Mufasaing his way out of those clouds to shine a spotlight on Jesus with his staff. We got a sixth thing! This movie literally tripled the things from the last one. Back in the time machine, once again, we suddenly learn that it's almost out of juice and only has 5 leaps left, so the kids have to hurry to the present. But of course, another golden fart comes along to knock them into the 6th century, where they see Ji Yi, a prominent Chinese Buddhist scholar, talking to Aphrodite as the Bodhisattva of wisdom, followed by Buddha himself. Which is mostly just an excuse for the film to dip into a long, boring sermon about how if you think too many horny thoughts, horny ghosts from hell will possess you and use your body to get their ghost rocks off. By the same spiritual mechanic, though, the sermon promises, the more time you spend thinking about Buddha and how awesome he is, the closer your mind will drift toward enlightenment. Which becomes more than a little insidious when you remember who Buddha is in this scenario. In Happy Science's worldview, any negative thought, especially one about El Cantare, puts you on the precipice of damnation. Satoru doesn't think about that, though. Instead, he gets inspired to go back in time one last time to Greece so that he can find that treasure Hermes was talking about. And despite the danger that their still malfunctioning time ship might strand them then, Alyssa agrees. On the way, the time sea gets all stormy, and they're almost sucked into a time whirlpool, but Satoru prays to Hermes, and a golden laser guides them out of danger and into the sky above some kinda ancient Greek gamer gathering with RGB lighting. The leader of those gamers is a self-proclaimed god named Prometheus, obviously the bad kind of self-proclaimed god, who has red skin and hair made of fire. Hermes is there too, lecturing him about how a real god strives to fill people's hearts with love by suing and literally demonizing his own son, for example. But Prometheus is like, nah, granting wishes is better, which is objectively true. Then he encircles Hermes in hilarious CGI fire, and when the kids try to stop him with the wind from their invisible time ship, demonstrates he can see into the fourth dimension by blasting them out of the sky in 2 clean shots. Hermes seems to be on the ropes, but then he remembers his trusty astral projection toe sandals, which he uses to visit the king of the sea dragons. Because sea
Okay. For the amount of effort that they've put into building this cult, I feel like it deserves more followers. It's like 30,000. Like, there's motherfuckers with like mega churches and shit that don't do this much. Like, obviously, this guy has invested a lot of processing power into the fucking lore of it. You know what I mean? Like, the Bible doesn't have this many chapters. You know what I mean? It's fucking bullshit. I'm just saying, dude. It's fucking... clearly, the guy put a lot of effort into it. He deserves more. This is just part 1, by the way. There's a fucking volume 2. You know? What is this? Keemstar? You 5K to get hair replacement surgery, little bro? 9% African. Bro, you're white. Ratio, Dan. Alex is a stupid. Keemstar announcer. Who is this guy? Who is Corn? How am I supposed to have bitches on my page when you keep dating all the girls my age? Oh my God! Bro wanted to say the N-word so bad. Okay, we're gonna watch this. We're gonna watch this whole thing in a second, but let's finish this.
Dragons are super duper religious, actually, and also that earlier attack was just a mistake. Meanwhile, back at the Gamerdrome, Satoru tries to stop Prometheus from burning Hermes' body and is completely useless in doing so. So Alyssa has no choice but to use her secret weapon, a derpy-looking holographic lion, which is marginally less useless. And together they buy just enough time for a storm to start as the Sea Dragons attack in glorious rainbow CGI. And riding atop their king comes Hermes, who hurls lightning at Prometheus like bam, pow, zap. And when the clouds clear, his body is still there, unharmed and praying in a shimmering ray of light. Prometheus claims it's just some kind of trick, but then his disciples turn on him, revealing that actually it is he who was the Scooby-Doo villain all along, and they were lighting all the fires in secret. He never had any powers to begin with. So, like, how'd he shoot down the invisible time ship then? Did he just get extremely lucky? Because you've already established that there are evil aliens with spiritual powers who pretend to be gods, and he's got, like, red skin and stuff. I'm just saying, there's definitely a cleaner way to resolve that. After one more boring, choppily animated sermon from Hermes, guess the budget blew out with that storm, the kids get back in the ship only to discover that, oh no, the crash drained their battery and they have just one time jump left now, which they decide to take back to 26th century New Atlantis because if Satoru doesn't return home, Alyssa might never be born. And they can't just fix the time machine and take him back after that because this sadly also means that they can't meet Super Space Buddha in the 21st century, but that's okay because El Cantare was right behind them in the 4th.
I don't get it. Why don't they, like, I don't know, pray the fucking sun god or golden god or whatever the fucking golden penis for like some juice so they can keep hopping? Or just like go fucking recharge it, dumbass. What's wrong with you? I don't understand.
Dimension all along, delting and presumably smelting all them golden farts. For you see, the true nature of time they promised to reveal at the start is that it's God's river of love. The time machine gets back literally 2 seconds after the confused cops leave, and Alyssa's pretty bummed about never being able to see her family or friends again because the only way to recharge the ship is with a special meteor from Pleiades. Then, like 3 seconds later, her mom and dad show up, having spent the year since she disappeared building a new time machine, but acting like they just saw her 5 minutes ago. Satoru finally learns that she's his great-great-great-great-granddaughter, which bums him out because he really wanted to tap that. Anime's gonna anime. But a few seconds later, he's elated to learn that he'll one day become the Great Reverend Priest Satoru, which isn't why Alyssa went back originally. She just stole the time machine because she wanted to meet someone in her family who had really good grades in middle school. So that must mean they changed the past after all, which is super dumb because everything else in the movie implied that time is deterministic and they were always destined to make this trip. That's the whole point of the overused breaking the Sphinx's nose gag. I'm starting to think Okawa might be as much of a hack fraud science fiction author as he is a hack fraud in general. And I would love to explore that thought in more depth by telling you about how Thomas Edison and his spirit phone play into this cosmology, or about the newer movie's tale of 5 teens with attitude fending off a secret reptilian invasion, but I've just sat through 6 hours of this shit, and you just sat through like 40 minutes of me ripping on it, so I think we could both use a break right now. Thank you for watching this whole thing, by the way, and an extra big thank you if you liked it enough to share it with someone, or if you watched it over a meal. That is truly the greatest honor a YouTuber can receive. Let me know in the comments below what other bad anime.
Damn, bro, not only did I watch it over a meal, I did share it with someone. I shared it with like 25,000 people, dude. Look at that. Look at that, bro. That was sick. Isn't streaming fun sometimes? Yeah, streaming is fun all the time. The only times when streaming is not fun is when, you know, the top of the hour comes and goes and I don't run the ad break and then people freak the fuck out and I see it and I'm like, nah, I'm in the middle of eating. I don't really want to run it. But people are still saying run the ad. And then I tell you that I'm going to run the ad. And I end up running it. And then I tell you, you know, you no longer have to see those ads. All you need to do is subscribe. And you can do that for $5 or you can do that for free. By connecting your Amazon account to your Twitch account, you get one free Prime subscription a month. And there's a part 2 to this as well. We can check it out while it's hot. Because I don't think I'll go back to this if we don't watch it now. You were so cute when you noticed the slam.
The pillar of fire in the clouds. After that, Alyssa finally gets the controls working, and they head at last to modern Tokyo Bay, where they're immediately greeted by God. Godzilla.
Oh my god!
The pillar of fire in the clouds.
Got a delayed reaction because I was eating, dude.
By God. God.
Very delayed reaction. What's wrong with my brain? I just asked one of the editors. The Death Slam wasn't Jeff. It was the other editor.
I'm Helen Keller.
What?
If you didn't catch the first of these videos, you might be feeling slightly confused right now, possibly even disoriented. I want to reassure you that as little sense as that probably made to you, it made exactly as much sense to anyone who's already been briefed on stockbroker turned reborn super space Buddha Ryuho Okawa, aka El Cantare, and his kooky anime-producing crossover fanfic religion, which is currently selling a book that literally claims Star Wars is real, in case you were wondering how kooky. I'll warn you now, if the 7-digit timestamp on this thing didn't warn you already. The first 3 Happy Science movies did nothing to prepare me for the howling vortex of madness that is the next 3 Happy Science movies. Over the next hour and change, you're going to watch this cult move from aggressively tonguing the balls of Thomas Edison to warning you about the dangers of dodgy religions, unlike theirs, obviously, to, essentially calling for Japan to go to war with China. So,
dude, this is a CIA cult. I am 100% convinced. This is the most CIA cult that's ever existed, okay? 100%.
Yeah, there's a lot of minutes and a lot of words in this video, and all of them are fully necessary to fully unpack all of that. I have written each section of this roast to work as a standalone piece that's comprehensible, even if you haven't seen part 1, and I've left marked chapters in the doobly-doo for your convenience if you want to watch them that way. But one of the most fascinating things about these movies is the ways they build on and evolve from each other, so I'd urge you to watch this all the way through at least once. I would also ask you, since this video has to tackle even more demonetizable subject matter and imagery than the last one of these films is like 30% swastika. If you feel so inclined, please, in addition to the usual like, comment, subscribe deal, consider sharing this video with folks you think will get a kick out of it. And
what is going on with this cult?
To everyone who already shared around,
I'm more surprised because, like, I'm more surprised I've never even heard of this before until this moment, because it literally targets all of my interests. Like, all of them. It's like a psychotic fucking pro-war, pro-capitalist. Like, it's just insane. There's a Nazi time machine component to it. Like, literally all of my favorite parts of reactionary politics and reactionary archetypes is covered by this fucking cult, which includes, like, whitewashing war crimes. Like, it's awesome. Absolutely fucking awesome. Greatest cult of all time, straight up.
On part 1, it is only because of you that I had the confidence to follow up on it this quickly. As the biggest video that we've ever made, this is also the most expensive Mother's Basement video.
The swastika is used in Japan for other contexts too. Please, why? Why does this happen every time, dude? Like, I'm sure that they're not using it in other contexts here in this one, dude. Okay? Can you please?
I've got like 4 different editors working on it, and I'm not running a sponsor because the founder of this cult is literally suing his own son right now, and I don't want to put anyone else in his sights. I'm taking a big risk on this series, is what I'm saying. But with your support, it really doesn't feel like it. So, from the bottom of my kokoro, thank you. Alright, enough with the sappy stuff. Let's tear this cult a new one. The first 3 Happy Science anime all examine, from varying angles and focal lengths, the history of humanity, which started on Venus as recorded in their goofy gospel. With their 3rd film, The Golden Laws, a tween time travel flick that strings together tweaked tales of famous religious figures like Disney Worlds and Kingdom Hearts, they finally realized that most people avoid explicit edutainment, actually, and started moving toward more conventional and marketable plot and character-driven storytelling. This has only freed them to make their anime even goofier and substantially less hinged. The Laws of Eternity is another transitional fossil in this evolutionary process. It has twice as many principal characters, and some of them even follow the barest traces of an arc, but its basic plot is identical to that of the Golden Laws. Some kids take a novel, spirit-based invention on a tour through happy science scripture. Only instead of happy history, we're learning happy cosmology this time, and instead of a time machine, we're using Thomas Edison's spirit phone. History's most overrated inventor really did try to build a ghost communicator in his later days, though he never called it a phone per se. His real hypothesis was that a sensitive enough pressure gauge could detect trace human personality in the atmosphere and read that out somehow. But this movie couldn't even put the Edison Museum in the right state, and the Laws of the Sun just blind hucked a dart at the bathroom door next to the board to peg the Incan Empire as 7,000 years old. So by happy science standards, this is actually pretty good research. And that's not even the film's only fun Edison fact.
When Edison invented the gramophone, the first song he recorded was "Mary Had a Little Lamb." Sing it together.
Wait, did I say fun? I meant horrifying. I'm not gonna lie, I heard that behind me in a spooky video game. I would pee. It's enough to spook the film's heroes, a trio of Japanese tourists from Kainan High School Science Club, into leaving for lunch early. Unfortunately, even on the new iPhone hologram, Apple Maps is still Apple Maps, and Roberto ends up leading Patrick and Ryuta down a shady New York alley instead, where they're swiftly ambushed by a racist caricature. Though not one we typically see in that biome. The old shaman lady says she has a message for the kids from Edison in the spirit world, so they follow her back to her hut, somewhere in New Mexico apparently, where she channels his spirit using the traditional Native American ceremony of holding a feather and vibrating.
I am Edison. I have a message for you. There is a new invention.
Okay, this is pretty good. I mean, wait, what the fuck? This is like...
You must. Spirit world.
I mean, isn't that like from Spirited Away or some shit?
It's just making it up. That is some hilarious fake seance dialogue any way you slice it, but it's extra funny when you know that Ryuho Okawa talks pretty much exactly like that in his spirit interviews.
I love my fellow citizens. God, where? What happened to me? Come on!
The old lady falls over and Ryuta runs to help her, but then their fingers touch instead, E.T. style, and the blueprints for the spirit phone come flooding into his mind all at once. Also, she fucking dies and no one cares.
Are you okay, Ryuta?
Okay, I'm goofing you. She's actually fine. The dub just really oversells her collapsing. But that's not the only line where the tone is a bit off.
I just don't want to give up before I even give it a try.
Well, that's what I like about you. You're different from other smart guys. You really make me want to do something for you.
Perhaps sensing those impending implications, the film's chaste religious love interest, Yuko, chooses this moment to knock on the lab window. And recalling that the old lady mentioned they'd need someone else's help to build the spirit phone, Roberto reasons that because Yuko goes to a religious school and thus knows about the spirit world, she's gotta be the one. As further evidence of this, she coincidentally read about—
Wait, Barack Obama was in it? I missed Barack Obama in the anime? You know what other anime has like world leaders in it? Baki. Baki stole from this too. They literally have stolen from this. This cult is responsible for some of the greatest animes, dude. Wait. No!
Spirit interviews.
I love my fellow citizens.
Oh my God. He actually speaks to Barack Obama. That sounds exactly like him.
I love my fellow citizens.
Oh my God, that sounds exactly like Barack Obama. That's crazy. I did not realize he was dead. That's also better than Steven Crowder's Barack Obama. Let's be real.
God, where? What happened to me? Come on!
The old lady—
Margaret Thatcher!
Where? What happened to me?
Wait, does he write entire books about it? What happened to me?
Come on!
Dude, Japan is the greatest country on earth. I swear to God.
Ghost reception, so
Yeah,
God
that's
Eagle
good.
takes them back there to formally start their tour. On the bank of the River Styx, they learn that all souls have these ghost umbilical cords sticking out of their heads that fall off 24 hours after death. Also, across the river lies a hill of golden flowers, atop
Wait,
which—
too far? Sorry.
And recalling that the old lady mentioned they'd need someone else's help to build the spirit phone, Roberto reasons that because Yuko goes to a religious school and thus knows about the spirit world, she's gotta be the one. As further evidence of this, she coincidentally read about the spirit phone on Wikipedia last night. Also, she bumped into Patrick on the way over here, who's being all tsundere about helping with the ghost phone because he's the film's obligatory skeptic character, but ultimately he decides to help too, just to prove that ghosts don't exist, Baka.
I need to go to Japan, dude. I swear to God. Not only do I need to go to Japan, I need to meet this cult.
Montage and a bout of brain-dead technobabble later, and the phone is done, and actually looks pretty decent for a CGI model from 2006. It doesn't appear to work at first, but Yuko realizes that's just because these silly science boys forgot the most essential step of the boot-up process. Prayer! Must run on Windows Me. And with El Cantare's blessing, they finally get a signal, though my pants wish they hadn't.
Mary had a little lamb,
What?
little lamb.
Thomas Edison greets our hero by his full name, Ryuta Hoshikawa. I see what you did there, movie. Then begins ominously explaining that he contacted them over some trouble before the connection even more ominously cuts out halfway through a sentence. Patrick and Roberto freak out while Ryuta and Yoko try the pray phone again, and while they can't get a hold of Edison, a spirit named—
Wait, this is the cult that released the toxic gas in the subway in the 90s? No. No shot. Because if that's the case, I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. It's like literally a cheat code where you're a cult and then you get to do whatever crimes you want and no one can stop you, apparently. No, they were rival cults? Okay, I hope they went to jail. This Japanese doomsday cult did a bombing in the 90s in Japan. Oh, Shinrikyo! Umu Shinrikyo literally means supreme truth. It's a Japanese doomsday cult and terrorist organization founded by Shoko Asahara in 1987. It carried out the deadly Tokyo subway sarin attack in 1995, and it was found to have been responsible for the Matsumoto sarin attack the previous year. The group says that those who carried out the attack did so secretly without being known to other executives and ordinary believers. Yeah, right. Okay, fucking sure. Asahara insisted on his innocence in a radio broadcast relayed from Russia and directed towards Japan. Inside the fringe Japanese religion that claims it can cure COVID-19. Let's go! They can cure COVID! Emissaries of a religious group called Happy Science showed up at the ghostly Times Square to deliver a peculiar end of days gospel. They wore golden sachets. Wait, there's a white guy. There's always a white guy. Oh fuck, there's always a white guy at these things. It's like the white dudes at Black Hammer, you know what I mean? How do you find yourself there, white guy? Explain yourself. Like, I need to know.
My name is Cass, Minister of Happy Science. So lastly, let me perform the special ritual of Happy Science.
Bro, it's great. It's so great because it's so awesome. Because like you have everything this cult has ever wanted is wrapped up here. They agitate war against China, okay? And they can do that with the CCP should pay the price, you know, go to Wuhan. And also they can fucking shill like fake cures.
I can fight to drive out communist virus and give you.
You know this is like a 4chan Andy. This is the femboy Nazi. You know what I mean? He's 100% a fucking 1000% 4chan Nazi, who like also is a femboy, anime PFP, incel groiper, who is like, yeah, this cult's pretty poggers.
All Americans and Mr. Trump, the president of the USA, the light of the Alcantara. So this communist virus.
Dude, white guys in situations like this are always the most wild people too. It's like the Dave Chappelle sketch, the white dude that's, you know, in the gang, straight up. Like converts, reverts, they go so fucking ride or die, dude. His hat says, help God create utopia. At first I thought it said, make America great again. It's not.
I told you, communist virus, not coronavirus. Starting from China, this communist virus is not for you, Americans. Do you remember? This virus started from China, who believe in the God, Lord.
Okay, come on. I want to know the prayer.
Lord El Cantare, may you give us light, give us power, give us hope. May you give us.
Bro, give you a better love, my guy. This is fucking dog shit. Absolute doo-doo butter, dude. What is happening with this? Bro, these cults really need to up their game. This is just absolutely devastatingly bad. This audio is so bad, dude.
Miracles.
He's literally peaking so hard it's cutting out. This is awesome.
As my last message to the Mr.
What?
And to the as my last message to the Mr. Trump, the President of the United States, from today, please listen carefully of our boy, of our
boy. Okay, this stuff is kind of boring. That's why they needed anime, dude.
God Eagle, the highest shaman of the ancient Incan civilization that Ryuho Okawa made up.
Is this Falun Gong? No, this is like Falun Gong, though. Falun Gong is this, but in China. These guys are like the Japanese version.
Does answer and offers to be their guide to the other side. Yuko conveniently learned how to astral project at religious school too, so after about 10 seconds of meditation, everyone's out of their bodies and up in the clouds, where they find a mysterious stone gateway that leads to an ever-shifting city full of business.
This motherfucker said Falun Gong is harmless. Harmless? Falun Gong is harmless? Bro, who do you think funds the Epoch Times, dumbass? They directly help white supremacist organizations all around the fucking planet. What are you, the CIA? What are you doing in here? Coomer CIA chatter, dude. Shenyun Andy. My local town festival had Falun Gong. What the fuck? I thought they were weird but harmless. Bro, they literally they fund Epoch Times. Like, even on that point alone, they're being harvested for organs. Show sympathy. Yeah, right. Falun Gong believe mixed race people can't go to heaven. Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, they're just harmless, bro. Yeah, Falun Gong. The organ thing isn't real? No, dude, what the fuck?
Business ghosts who don't seem to realize they're dead yet. That's pretty metal, actually. Patrick starts freaking out again about the whole freaky situation, which is understandable, but then he calls Roberto Chubface, which is just uncalled for.
By the way, at least they included like brown people in this time. Notice how this is the first iteration of the anime where there's like non-white individuals. Because leading up to this, it's all white. Buddha, white. Fucking Moses, white. Every homie's white.
And the damnation mechanics of the happy science afterlife, if you're in a bad mood ever, you go straight to hell. Seriously, that's how it works. Don't allow for the he started it defense, so after a couple seconds of bickering, a sinkhole opens up to swallow up the both of them. Luckily, God Eagle swoops in at the last second to save the day and tell us where we are.
Where are we? In the fourth dimensional posthumous realm, where people who have just died come and experience the surprise that they are spirit.
This is fucking, dude, this is ridiculous, okay? Like, absolutely fucking ridiculous, dude. Reports on systematic organ harvesting from Falun Gong prisoners first emerged in 2006, but the practice started at least 6 years earlier. Several researchers, most notably Matas, Kilgore, and Gutman, estimate that tens of thousands of Falun Gong prisoners of conscience have been killed to supply a lucrative trade in human organs and cadavers, and that these abuses may be ongoing. This is like one of those things where like they fucking make something up so aggressively that it's like impossible to fucking believe. Unless you do believe it, I guess. Holy fuck. This is, oh, yeah. I don't know how, but I've been getting Epoch Times emails last year. How did that happen? Dude, they are everywhere. Epoch Times is everywhere, dude. They have a lot of funders. Didn't Epoch Times outspend Trump on Trump ads on Facebook? Maybe. I saw a procession going through my town with signs that said NCCB. I thought it was Falun Gong. Yeah, they're an anti-China cult that doesn't believe in race mixing, that believes in a bunch of fucking kooky shit. And because they're anti-China, the CIA loves them. Okay. After I won my election, someone subbed me to the Epoch Times for a year. Nice. And they just like make insane shit up. Back in 2017, 2018, I almost started using them as a news source as I was rapidly falling down the alt-right YouTube rabbit hole. Yeah. Epoch Times is the reason why your fucking grandparents are psychotic, by the way. They're worse than Fox News. We watched Epoch Times news or broadcast. But because it's fucking Chinese, you don't understand it. Americans have no way of like recognizing that, fake news or propaganda can exist outside of Fox News. It's like literally looking at, One America Network and thinking like, well, that's what's going on in America, or not worse than that even. It's literally like believing everything that OAN says is happening. The video editor in chat, spoiler alert, it's me. Hope you guys are enjoying the video. The Mother's Basement Editors Union that definitely exists appreciates it. Adam Nader, 15-month subscriber. Are you the one who put the fucking slam thing in the other video? Because one of you motherfuckers did that. I don't know who did it, but and is it the slam from the Weasley Little Liar dude? Dude, my coworker used to show me shit from Epoch. I have endless videos of him on QAnon rants, even talking to sales customers about it. Oh yeah, dude. I put the slam in. Yeah, ha ha ha. There you go. Fuck everybody who hated. Dude, that is such a specific sound. As soon as I heard it, I was like, oh my God, this is the fucking Weasley Little Liar dude. Slam. Okay, let's keep going. That's sick.
So it's ghost orientation, basically. But the kids skipped ghost reception, so God Eagle takes them back there to formally start their tour. On the bank of the River Styx, they learn that all souls have these ghost umbilical cords sticking out of their heads that fall off 24 hours after death, Also, across the river lies a hill of golden flowers, atop which sits a massive movie theater multiplex where every deceased soul in existence is forced to sit and watch a movie of their entire life, including all of their private thoughts as commentary, in front of their entire dead family. No, we ain't made it to hell yet. This is still only check-in. After the movie, your family votes on whether or not you go to hell, and if you're really lucky and earn some Americlaps from—
Wait, what the fuck? Why would anyone's family ever vote for you to go to hell?
The audience, you might even get an express pass to the upper tiers of heaven. Or you could just think some happy thoughts to get there, like the kids do.
So, is this heaven?
This is the fifth dimension, realm of the good. It is a part of heaven.
Happy Science Heaven is actually divided into several realms, each of which houses a different caliber of soul. For instance,
Bro, I'm going to mega hell, okay? Not even regular hell for all the fapping stuff.
Sole prerequisite to make it to these lush green fields full of bizarrely oversized vegetables is apparently to say thank you a lot all the time for literally everything to literally everyone.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Beyond that lies the sixth dimension, the realm of light, where advanced souls who've become leaders in their respective fields come to study forever, inspired by the divine light of the eternal Buddha. Appropriately, its door only opens to those with powerful dreams. No horny dreams, though. Bad Roberto. After that clarification, all the kids do make it through, and Roberto and Patrick even get to see visions of their future scientific achievements, respectively a spirit energy-based generator and a device that detects impending illnesses at the soul level before they can start hitting your body. And the next dimension up's an even more exclusive club. The seventh dimension, Bodhisattva realm, lies beyond the narrow gate which only those with the prerequisites of an angel can pass through. Obviously, Patrick's way too much of a dick for that, and Roberto's too... Look, we've seen enough of these movies at this point to make an educated guess as to why Roberto...
What are you trying to say, dude? What, do you mean to tell me that the only brown dude is not going to heaven? That's so crazy. Remember, first patch of the fucking Mormon religion? Folks, for those of you who don't know, the first patch, before they fucking, before they patched it, rather, the original version of the Mormon religion, black people were the devil. As a matter of fact, when you became evil, you became black. Yeah. Luckily, they patched it out, but very, very racist original Mormon stuff. Original vanilla Mormonism, very vanilla. Okay? Yeah. Mormons still believe black people bear the mark of Cain? No, not anymore, dude. Come on.
Not getting into the VIP section of heaven, but God Eagle still makes them all go through.
That's what Dominicans think of Haitians? Okay, stop. Okay, let's keep
the same test anyway, helping 10 old and sick people through rehab in a hospital-esque pocket dimension. One monotonous montage later, Ryuta and Yuko both, of course, get the go-ahead, but Patrick gets left behind because he complained about being tired once in his head. And Roberto had a thought about how he deserves some gratitude for helping those people, so sin of pride, he's out too. And after telling them this, God Eagle just abandons the pair of them. I'm sure that's not going to cause problems later.
God Eagle has a straight schnoz, by the way. I mean, like an eagle-like schnoz.
On the other side, Ryuta stumbles into a spirit lab full of spirit scientists and business guys working on spirit stuff, one of whom compliments him on his spirit phone. After a moment, he realizes that guy is Konosuke Matsushita, the founder of Panasonic, who introduces him to Sakichi Toyota and a bunch of other, quote, people who contributed to building Japan's prosperity.
Wait, are they all sun people then? Are they actually happy science Andes? No, right?
Apparently.
This guy made my Camry, bro. Straight up. He's responsible for my fucking Toyota Camry. Love that.
In happy science, bodhisattva means billionaire. Suddenly all the Edison worship is starting to make a bit more sense. Speak of the angel and he shall appear.
You never thought angels... By the way, this is literally prosperity gospel Japanese version, okay? Like, being rich is good, and the wealthier you are, the better you are in the eyes of God. This is just the Japanese version of the prosperity gospel with, like, obviously way more insane and way cooler tweaks to it. But ultimately, it's kind of the same shit. ABAB, all billionaires are beautiful.
Wore business suits and working clothes, did you? Finally, we meet Ryuta Hoshikawa.
Mr. Edison.
Just a side note, Edison was a brunette. It's not clear why they made him blonde and blue.
Oh, it's not clear? I wonder why. I wonder why they did that.
Blue-eyed here. Again, though, we can make an educated guess. It's probably the same reason they did it to Helen Keller. And speak of the angel, it's finally time for her to appear before Yuko and explain exactly what her deal is.
Are you uncomfortable seeing a talkative Helen who can see and hear, Yuko?
Wait, wasn't Helen Keller a communist or some shit? Why would Japanese whitewash? Bro, do you remember who they allied with in World War II? I don't know if you know this or not, but like, there's a lot of fascist shit that goes on in Japan as well. Motherfuckers will literally be like, I don't understand. Like, they're Asian though. Like, as though it's like a painfully Western white approach to seeing the world, where you like weirdly think only like Western white people are racist about like pale skin and shit like that. You know what I mean? Or that other like Asian people can't be fucking supremacist. Bro, Japan is pretty racist, okay? They're kind of like the France of the Asian world.
No. That was all planned before I was born. Angels sometimes do things like that. Yuko, you and I have always been friends, you know?
Friends?
Turns out she's not the only angel friend Yuko forgot about.
3 big ableist myths about the life of Helen Keller. Wait, it's not ableist to assume that she's a communist. She was 16. She was catapulted to national fame. International Socialist Review. Yeah, what the fuck? She had strong personal politics that landed her in the 1949 list of Communist Party members compiled by the FBI, bro. She was a socialist. That's not a... Why did you fucking... Yeah, she is a socialist. Why did you just send this link to me and say she's not a communist or she's not a socialist? She was into eugenics? Bro, back then, who wasn't into eugenics? Okay? I'm just saying, dude. It was the 1880s. It was like the early 1900s, brother. I'm telling you, literally every thinker in America. If you go back and look at the 1900s, and every single American thinker that is prominent was 1000% pro-eugenics. It was considered like the pivotal scientific achievement. People unironically were like, oh, this is like poggers. Eugenicism is like pretty sick. This is like the smart thing. That's why it's so funny when like people who believe in social Darwinism or people who believe in eugenics now or people who are Nazis straight up will then turn around and like point to fucking point to the founder of Planned Parenthood and shit. You know what I mean? And be like, they were into eugenics. It's like, yeah, that's what every scientist believed. Don't do that. Everyone was bad back then, dude. What do you mean don't do the... No, cancel Helen Keller, dumbass. I don't give a shit. Obviously, eugenics is fucking bullshit. But this notion that, like, it wasn't the pivotal of fucking scientific achievement, and it still exists to this day, too. You want to make fucking superhumans. Don't act like you don't. There's a degree of eugenicism that is still deemed completely acceptable versus shit that's like what the Nazis believed in. Not pinnacle, not pivotal. Did I say pivotal? Hey, Twitter, do your thing, dude. Literally, anti-racist people like W.E.B. Du Bois was into eugenics. Eugenics and the degree of eugenics that Hitler believed in versus what other people were considering as like the pinnacle of scientific thought is a very different degree. Okay. Not everyone who's like at the time who believed in like eugenics believed in, you know, murdering fucking everyone that they declared murdering everyone that they declared to be fucking, you know, too stupid. Back then, eugenics was literally just the accepted science. It wasn't thought of a political belief associated by any particular side. And we still do that. I mean, there's CRISPR gene editing, right? So, yeah, I mean, skull science, craniometry, measurement of the cranium is a subject of cephalometry, measurement of the head. This is like, it's not phrenology. It's distinct from phrenology or whatever. But like, yeah, this is some shit that people fucking believe in. Bro, the funny thing is, people would literally, I mean, people, what's the idiotic, like, Andy No used to write there, the idiotic fucking magazine that's for all the fucking extreme centrists. They actually wrote an article about this recently. Killette wrote a, no, not Reason, Killette. Stop shitting on real science. It's been discounted by libtards. That's literally how we discovered cops. Anyway. So, where was I? So this idea that you're gonna like fucking cancel Helen Keller. Like, don't promote Helen Keller, dude. She believes in eugenics is a fucking idiotic one. Okay, I'm just letting you know. CRISPR isn't bad. Please don't teach that. I don't think CRISPR is bad. But it is a form of eugenics. You could even go so far as to consider, and this is going to frustrate a lot of people, but having an abortion when your child has like a serious fucking genetic disease or disorder to be a form of eugenics, which is why there is a varying degree of eugenics that is deemed appropriate or acceptable even by today's metrics. Also, I don't think CRISPR is bad. I love CRISPR. I don't know if this is just a semantic debate, but CRISPR isn't part of eugenics. You perceiving human engineering, CRISPR tech, and eugenics? You mean mistaking? Eugenics and genetics are different, man. Eugenics is about breeding, not changing genes through other means. Okay. So is an abortion or a gene editing before a child is born, why would you not consider that to be a different kind of eugenics still? The ultimate goal of eugenics is to literally change the gene pool by medieval means that they had at the time. The application of CRISPR on human embryos would be eugenics. The technology itself is neutral. Shut up. You don't understand anything about genetics. Just talk about something else, dude. Dude, many great geneticists were not eugenics. The eugenics movement was strongly mostly in America and Germany. Helen Keller was actually a communist who didn't see the top of the hour ad break. Good one, dude. You got it. Okay? The most annoying fucking part about this conversation is dudes who come in here to be like, dude, you don't understand anything about what you're talking about, and then fucking lose their shit, and then don't actually qualify why. Don't clarify what it is. They just say, you fucking suck. You're wrong. You are literally correct. Chat is just full of semantics andies. Yeah, if you apply CRISPR gene editing to an unborn fucking fetus or an embryo, you're technically doing eugenics. Just like if you are aborting a fucking baby, or a fetus rather, before the fetus has viability, or even during, because of a genetic disease that the fetus has, you are technically engaging in the very broad understanding of what eugenics would be. That is just the reality. It is a very broad term. I am still a fan of CRISPR, by the way. I think it's going to be great. I'm a fan, for the record. Like, being able to cure and rid the world of genetic diseases is not a bad thing. It's a good thing. A fan of CRISPR, even though you said it's eugenics? Yes. Yes. Being able to rid the world of genetic diseases is literally is not a bad thing. It's a good thing. Okay? Are you fucking stupid? What kind of weird caveman Neanderthal bullshit is this happening in my fucking Twitch chat when you're literally supposed to be like recognizing, accepting, and celebrating the, highest form of technology? No, dude, fuck it. Like, I should get, you know what? Yeah, my grandmother died last month of Alzheimer's. Finally, after 12 years of having Alzheimer's. I should die of Alzheimer's too, I think. Fuck that. Because, hey, some people's feelings will be hurt if we do gene editing. You know what I mean? That's just how it works, I think. That's how we should do things. Luckily, we don't. Luckily, people don't give a shit about random idiots in my fucking chat. Okay? Not even a month ago. Like, literally 2 weeks ago. I didn't even talk about it because it was a relief. 12 years of having Alzheimer's. 12 fucking years. Dumbasses. Getting rid of genetic diseases isn't eugenics. It's eugenics when it's racist, when you try to breed out black traits, for example. Yes, I understand and agree with that. That is what I was simply trying to explain to people, that like, you can technically consider that to be ableist, or you can technically consider that to be a bad thing. But ultimately, in the broader understanding of what eugenics is, or the way people use it, and this is a semantics conversation, ultimately, it ranges everywhere from trying to fucking kill black people or trying to kill disabled people, all the way to curing Alzheimer's, okay, in the form of gene editing, by editing out figuring out what gene causes that trait to carry on, and editing it out at fucking before childbirth. Like that, it would be eugenics. Why is Chad always playing devil's advocate? I don't know. I feel like Chad is always just trying to constantly catch you fucking up morally, or just argue semantics to undermine you. Because everybody wants to fucking win arguments, no matter what it is on the internet. And it's Twitch, and it's the internet, and I have a bunch of fucking dudes who should get some gene editing done if they have the possibility, okay? They have debate lord brain. Hopefully one day there will be a cure for it. It's not semantics, it's a philosophical debate that's been going on ever since the term eugenics was created. Okay. All philosophy is semantics. It's just like posturing and endlessly pontificating on semantic differences and making it seem significantly more important than it actually is. You will not get pussy with a philosophy degree. Okay, I'm letting you know. You're definitely not going to get a job, but you're definitely not getting pussy. I'm just letting you know. When people hear you talk about Kant, they're like, I will never fuck this person. Also, do your thing, Twitter. Kant was fucking literally racist, okay? Maybe he wasn't all that great. Just straight up so fucking racist that he thought black people were created by, like, all babies were white and pure, and they would turn black as they fucking slid out of the black mother's vagina, and they got painted black. I'm not even kidding. Look it up. He was incredibly racist. Anyway, let's keep going. Yes, CRISPR also, I do recognize that CRISPR could also lead to a Gattaca style. Under a capitalist organization of the economy, CRISPR absolutely could lead to a Gattaca style organization where the wealthy upper class get to have, like, literally all the fucking traits that we have declared to be good and declared to be useful, practical. Whereas the underclass, the proletarian, will get none of those amenities. Okay, let's keep going.
Honorable Ms. Nightingale.
Florence Nightingale?
Back at the gate, Patrick's starting to get predictably salty about being left behind by all his friends, and of course the impressionable young Roberto gets sucked into that too.
We went through all that trouble, and now we can't even meet Edison.
Then they both get sucked into it, it being hell, where a mysterious mustachioed gentleman appears and offers to help them find their way out, though subtle clues suggest that it might be a trap. Back at the lab...
Wait, did I forget the fucking... Oh my god, dude. I forgot the fucking ad break. I need CRISPR gene editing in my brain to remember the top of the hour ad breaks at the top of every hour. And also, CRISPR might not help you, and gene editing might not help you, but a fucking Twitch Prime can. It's free. You know, you can use that. You can use that to no longer see the ads. Thank you, iKid Nichols, for the 5 community gift subs. You know, you just sit here and wait for that too. That could be helpful for you as well. You know, to be a recipient of a gift sub. Here's the 1 minute ad break now. Go check my Twitter. I was in Mr. Beast's Squid Game and you reacted to me, says Eccentric. Donna, just saw Mr. Beast's reaction. I was the one who sacrificed him for 456. Go check my Twitter for proof of same name, says Eccentric. Oh shit! We had a HasanAbi head in the Mr. Beast Squid Game, dude. Fuck yeah. Eccentric. Damn, bro. He's just fucking dropping $10. He's like fucking sending me donos over and over again. My man is caked up, dude. I was the one who sacrificed himself for 456. Caked up on that fucking Mr. Beast money, dude. He's got that. Look at that. I got dono walled twice. My dono Sag. Bitch, what do you mean? You fucking made like $8,000 from a Mr. Beast video, dude. Stop telling your 12-year-old fans that having $10 is being caked up. No, dummy. That person made it up to a fucking round where he made like $6,000. That's what I mean when I said caked up. What's wrong with you guys, man? Why can't I say anything? Why? Why is my fucking community so aggressive towards me sometimes, dude? Why can't you do this? Like, why can't we just like, I literally can't make jokes anymore. It's just like everyone fucking constantly is just like, we watched a video. We're watching a video about a fucking cult that like has an anime. And I said, Helen Keller was a socialist or was a communist. And motherfucker, someone was like, that's not true. Look at the Smithsonian Magazine article, which actually said Helen Keller was a socialist. Then someone said, no, actually, don't celebrate Helen Keller. She was a eugenicist. And then we got into this fucking long ass conversation about eugenics. It's just like, and the more I respond to people saying shit, the more people like are like, oh, this is my opportunity to shine. I'm really gonna get him with this one.
Edison informs Ryuta that he's actually from the 8th dimension, Tathagata realm, but he comes down to slum it with the bodhisattvas sometimes when he's feeling bored. After explaining the
in 10 months, Hasan will be a right-winger. Let's see. This guy's been following me since 8/11/2021. Brother, I've been doing this for years, okay? I've been doing this for fucking years, homie. Years and years and years. If I haven't turned into a fucking right-winger, why the hell would I turn into one now? You've been here for 3 months. I've been dealing with fucking insane, idiotic lefties for years.
Principles of reincarnation.
Anyway,
he reveals it wasn't him
and the
who
DC
was in
Baller, thank you for the
trouble
5
at all,
gifted
but
subs.
rather science itself.
Orga
due to
Canman, thank you for the 10 gifted
scientists focusing on
subs.
the material world and ignoring the new frontier of the spirit world. He wants Ryuta to fix that. Suddenly, corporate whistle music kicks up, and the scene turns into a weird TED Talk about how spirit technology can help mankind reach the stars and harness limitless energy and stuff. Like, they're really trying to sell this technology to that they made up in their cartoon movie. It's weird. It's really weird. At the same time, Florence Nightingale's going off on her own tangent about how if everyone only knew about reincarnation, we'd have world peace because everyone would realize that they already know everyone else and they don't want to kill people they already know. Then she details some of the ways that angels go down to Earth to help people, and Mother Teresa arrives to elaborate that some angels even go down to hell to try.
Bro, everyone's a white woman, dude.
To save souls down there.
Mr. Edison, you are the god of science. The greatest scientist of all humankind.
No, that's not true.
That man was Nikola Tesla, actually.
The greatest scientist on Earth would actually be none other than Thoth.
A Thoth? That hoe over there here.
Around 12,000 years ago in Atlantis.
Edison lists off all of El Cantare's incarnations, which I already went over in the last video, and explains that they can all be found in the holiest of spiritual planes, the 9th dimension, cosmic.
Yeah, he's like, he's not the greatest scientist. The greatest scientist is Nikola Tesla, who Edison stole from, among many other scientists. Thomas Edison is the perfect... What? Can you explain in detail the downside of nationalism as a whole? No. Yeah. Thomas Edison is in many ways the perfect... First of all, he's Elon Musk, okay? Like, we have the new era Thomas Edison in the form of Elon Musk. But he's the perfect fucking capitalist icon. Not the guy who actually, like, spent his life trying to fuck pigeons or some shit. Because he was truly, like, deranged and also on top of that, like a brilliant madman. But the guy who was just, like, in proximity of people like that, so much so that they could just, you know, steal other people's work. What the fuck is Thoth? Is it Nazi shit? I don't know what the fuck that is.
However, he tells Ryuta he can't go there because it'd be the spiritual equivalent of diving straight into the sun. He does, however, get to take a spirit elevator up to the 8th dimension.
This is actually the greatest invention of the spirit world. And it's made by yours truly.
Okay, guess it wasn't pride that kept Roberto out of here. Must have been something else. Ryuta heads up in the elevator and pops out to grab Yuko right when her angel friends are telling her that actually she reincarnated with the man she's destined to marry. Ooh, subtle. Together they ascend to the higher realm where they're greeted by a man, and that man is Albert Einstein, who explains that all 500...
Also a socialist. A lot of socialists in this prosperity gospel religion, by the way. Kind of weird.
Ish of the beings in this realm have...
I mean, at least Helen Keller and Albert Einstein were both socialists, so there's that.
...achieved enlightenment and...
I wonder if people yelled at them, too. Einstein, you claim to be a socialist, and yet here you are. You know, living in a house.
Transcended their mortal forms. Thus, there's actually infinity people up there, but also zero. He then demonstrates, using a goldfish, that time is an illusion here, too, so I guess that giant hourglass is just ornamental. Furthermore, he announces plans to reincarnate in the 30th century and build a time machine, meaning he's also Arissa's dad. This conversation raises a lot of questions, but there's no time to answer them because the film just realized it's been 50 minutes since it had a plot. God Eagle pops in to announce that Patrick and Roberto have been captured by demons, and Yuko and Ryuta have to take the elevator down to save them. On the way, they pass through the Hell of Strife, an eternally burning city surrounded by volcanoes that's home to combative and cruel souls. Next is the Hell of the Inescapable Pit, an office complex where demons force people to work really long.
You really are comparing yourself with Einstein, lol? No, you fucking idiot. Here, shut up. There you go, 12-monther.
Long shifts at really cramped desks as a punishment for those who envied happy and successful people and tried...
This is what I mean, by the way, like pathetic fucking losers in my community that have been around for a very long time that literally take everything in the least charitable place. Why? I don't need fucking haters when I have, like, literally my long-term community members gunning for me, motherfucker. Like, absolutely gunning for me to just take everything I say in the least charitable fucking way possible, dude. No, the first one was a joke, but then he fucking unironically kept repeating it over and over again. So, I mean, I don't know if it's a joke at that point.
To bring them down. In other words, Ryuho Okawa built a special hell just for the haters. After that is the Hell of the Bloody Pond, wherein those obsessed with the opposite sex get trapped in a massive, endless blood orgy until they realize how nasty they are. Sounds nice. The elevator then passes a base camp for all the angels Mother Teresa mentioned who delve into hell to save people, before finally arriving in a barren, rocky valley deep in the realm of demons, where their friends are tied up in the gnarled branches of a massive, evil-looking tree. And of course, right as they arrive, they're greeted by the sinister mustache man, who's revealed to be the god-murdering philosopher himself, Friedrich Nietzsche's. And he's brought a whole army of zombie Nazis with him. But he needs no violence to fulfill his master plan, which was to lure Ryuta here and turn him into an atheist.
Many of your peers on Earth have awakened already.
Freedom of religion also means the freedom of not believing in religion.
I promise you, I did not add that music. Nietzsche's argues that a life without God gives people more personal freedom, to which Ryuta retorts, yeah, well, if you're so smart, how come you're in hell then? The mighty light of his facts and logic is so bright that it instantly wakes Patrick and Roberto, blinds the zombie Nazis.
Okay, this is like a debate lord religion, dude. It's like the debate lord's dream religion.
And causes Nietzsche's to pound ground like an angry Dr. Eggman. But our heroes aren't
That's like a Ben Shapiro level argument right there, dude. It's awesome.
Out of the woods just yet. Because wherever you find zombie Nazis, it's only a matter of time until you run into zombie
Hitler! Nietzsche's
Wait. Oh, the Nazis are bad in this? Interesting. Okay. Let's hear them out. First of all, automatically, sorry to report this, but more woke than JoJo. Okay? So far, more woke than JoJo. I'm just saying, okay? It's true, JoJo Sips. It's literally true. This anime now is more woke than JoJo. An anime in which there are good Nazi characters.
Told you, it's easier to use force.
Force, in this case, refers to the giant CGI elephant monster.
It's something that JoJo Sims do not acknowledge, for the record.
Hitler brought with him Behemoth, which engages in a big dumb anime fight with God Eagle, knocking a mountain onto the spirit elevator in the process. Eventually, God Eagle sacrifices himself to stop the beast, but even that only slows it down, prompting Nietzsche's to chant his catchphrase.
God is dead! God is dead! God is...
Also, Baki also had a big elephant. A behemoth elephant. A lot of anime stole from this big anime, I think.
Is dead!
But Ryuta ain't having it.
The truth will not die. The truth never dies.
At this point, he basically goes Super Saiyan, and the glow of his hair is so bright that it reaches all the way to heaven, calling down a giant angelic mecha to poke-battle Behemoth on his behalf, which seems to turn the tide, but then Hitler busts out a Z move, and his Heck Pokemon starts belching fire.
I'm just saying, JoJo, an anime where some of the Nazis were good guys. This anime, Hitler is very clearly a bad guy.
Once again, though, Nietzsche's sprock too soon. By T-posing to assert dominance, Yuko summons a golden shield for the God Gundam, which in turn inspires Ryuta to summon a golden sword to protect her, and the light of them both is enough to blow away Behemoths and vaporize both Hissler and Nietzsche's. With the immediate threat vanquished, the kids hop on the mech to fly out of hell, but they're pursued by a host of demons who begin spilling out after them into the 5th dimension. Good thing, then, that there's a host of angels waiting on the other side, led by God Eagle, who's pulled an Avdol, and draws a cross in the air, followed by a star, to plug the hellhole up with a whole entire mountain.
Why did he send them down again? Like, why did he send them down there? And then only to, like...
The film's not quite over yet, though. The spirit elevator shows up one last time, but this time it's an express ride to El Cantare's Cosmic Realm penthouse. Patrick and Roberto, humbled by their hell trip and reasonably sure they'd evaporate in the God Sun, both decline the offer, but Ryuta and Yuko head on up, and a schmaltzy musical number plays as they take a victory lap through the realms of heaven, soaring over unicorns and mermaids and into a painting of Ryuho Okawa giving Adam and Eve a bowling trophy? Is that Da Vinci painting? They then pass Helen Kellers.
JoJo Nazi moment?
異様な角度に関節が曲がったぞ。左腕も義手なのか。そしてこれは指の力1950キロ平方センチ。サンタナのパワーの約2倍。バカ者が！ドイツの科学は世界一。
That's not even what I was referencing. That's like that's not what I was talking about. I'm talking about JoJo fans don't even want to fucking show what I'm talking about, dude. I'm talking about, yeah, Stroheim or whatever, the fucking straight up the dude who's like a Nazi. Was it Stroheim? Oh, not that guy. Like, oh, that is him. No, the fucking in the first, was it in the first part or was it in the second part? When they're in like the ski mountain resort. It was in part, I mean, it wasn't in part one, it was in part two, but.
Somebody don't.
Show the Nazis committing crimes when they first appear, though, and them dying brutally is supposed to be comeuppance. I mean, I'm just saying that he literally is a good guy. He is a good Nazi.
Somebody do something! Open fire! No! Damn it!
Pardon me, I'll need a bit of your hair. Just a small handful or two.
What do you think you're doing? Let me go!
The more you fight, the more it'll hurt.
You're assaulting a superior officer! Now!
Who are you?
I know that demeanor, but it couldn't be!
I call this one the old Hamon hair attack!
I gotta rewatch JoJo. It's been a long ass time.
Oh, that means you're Joseph Joestar!
Barrier up!
Also, English dub is so dog shit. Holy fuck. Part 6 is gonna have female main character and is featured in an American prison, so it's gonna be fucking good. Yeah, the dub is so bad I forgot that there's a good Nazi character in JoJo. Straight up. Stroheim last seen died in Stalingrad.
ストロハイムは徐々に再開することなく、1943年の
In 1943, he died as a proud German soldier fighting in Stalingrad.
高きドイツ軍人として名誉の戦死を遂げ、世界一
Lamar, who's this? What the fuck? +1 victims of communism memorial. Yeah, Stroheim was another victim of communism. So fucked up. Okay, let's keep going.
And the angels putting on a dance for Aphrodite. The Gundam flies up to see them off. And finally, they swing by Thomas Edison, who's putting finishing touches on some sort of angel energy drink. Also, apparently, his true mission all along was to get those two on the elevator. The reason for that becomes clear once they reach the 9th dimension, where they come face to face with the holiest beings in existence.
Jesus Christ. Confucius. Newton.
And, of course, above them all, we find all the different incarnations of El Cantare, casting their holy radiance down on the globe of Earth. Then the Buddha himself delivers the film's big twist.
Awaken, thought of today.
Which I guessed like the second I heard Ryuta's name. Suddenly, he's standing on a beach in ancient Atlantis, admiring an Atlantean airship alongside his Atlantean wife, who's also Yuko. Now, the dialogue in this flashback is frustratingly inconsistent as to whether they actually are Thoth and...
Why do they all become good or better versions of themselves and immediately automatically are blind with blue eyes? Or blonde with blue eyes?
His wife are just people...
What? Oh my god, dude.
Who lived in Atlantis and happen to know them. But even if Ryuta's name is just a coincidence, it won't be long before Ryuho Okawa actually goes full self-insert on us. After his vision, Ryuta vows to go back down to Earth and prove the truth that he just learned in the spirit world by living in a proper way. Then...
This is why animating the Quran is forbidden? That's not even true. I remember watching Prophet Mohammed, the TV show when I was, or a movie when I was younger. Anne, hatırlıyor musun? Muhammed'in bir tane şeyi vardı, filmi vardı. Çizgi film. Küçükken bizi götürmüştünüz. %100 siz götürdünüz. Beraber gittik izledik. No, televizyonda değil. The Messenger. No. The Prophet, animating the Prophet is mega haram. Okay, worst thing you can do. So the cartoon actually never showed Muhammad, but only showed him from like a FPS point of view. So they would literally just like, whenever he was like talking or whatever, they would exclusively show it from like a first person point of view. They never show Muhammad. I wonder what it was called. Is it The Messenger? The Messenger's trailer. Wait, what? No way. Is this it?
You will recall...
No. This isn't it. This is not it. This is not it. You see his hands? Is animating Muhammad's hands haram? No, dude. They fucking chada. I mean, dude, this was when I was in fucking Turkey. This definitely isn't it.
The messengers journey once again.
İzledim ben onu Hasan. Diğer peygamberlerde de yapmışlardı hatta. What was it? They did narrate him, yes. Was it called The Messenger? Son peygamber. Oh my god, I think this was it.
Çok uzaklardan geldiğinizi biliyorum. Unutmayın, ilahlarınıza hediyeler sunarken çok ama çok...
Yeah! They're pagan. They're engaging in paganistic rituals. This is why it's a sin. Like that's why they fucking burn all of these statues and whatnot. Because they're sinning right now. This is a sin. There's a lot of sin happening.
Bu çok iyi seçim Süheyl. Oklara göre kılıç yapımcısını kandırmaya devam edebilirsin. Çünkü...
Evet anne bunu izlettirdi. Siz izlettirmediniz ama ben izlediğimi hatırlıyorum yani küçükken. Allah Allah. My mom is... No, seni görmüyorlar. My mom is like, there is no shot I let you watch this when you were younger. And I'm trying to tell her, like, I remember watching it in the movie theaters. I think I went with Nizzle. Here, I want to find a place where Mohammed is around. Like, I want to show you how they show Mohammed.
Dünyadan gibi değil.
Yani sihir mi?
Bana kalırsa mantıklı tek açıklama bu.
O halde...
Wait, there's the English version. Oh my god, there's the English version.
Pride in supplying water and shelter for the faithful.
Bro, this is incredibly well done, by the way. Like this is not bad. Yo, there's a lot of fucking like religious anime out there.
Now it seems we pride ourselves in taking advantage of their devotion.
I won't listen to this!
He's Abu Jahal. Abu Talib is our leader.
Yes, and he's my brother. But that doesn't mean I have to sit here and listen to false accusations. The pilgrims would dry up and blow away if it weren't for us. We're worth 10 times what we take. He thinks he can lecture us just because his clan takes care of the Kaaba.
We must change our ways.
Careful, Abu Talib. Change.
Did you watch it in English? No, motherfucker. I watched it in Turkish. It was in a Turkish movie theater.
Dangerous.
Wait, I just want to see how they show you Muhammad.
To him.
Oh, this is it.
There's no such thing as rich. Offered the most beautiful words we had ever heard.
This.
He taught us. All the gods of Mecca are powerless. There's only one God. The God of Abraham, Moses, and Jesus. And you have to surrender everything to him. There's no such thing as rich or slave in the eyes of God.
He's in the room right now, Muhammad is.
And the poor...
Yeah, he's abolishing slavery.
...aren't to be put down and despised. They're to be cared for. The Quran says, in the name of God, the merciful, the compassionate, the most honored of you in the sight of Allah is the most righteous of you. Women aren't possessions. They're God's creations and just as important as any man. Respect them. The earth is a gift from God. Treat it gently. You are its caretaker. And remember, you will all be judged according to your deeds. Many became Muslims that night. We showed our faith with a simple pledge.
There is no God but God, and Muhammad is his prophet.
Şehade getiriyorlar.
There is no God.
Once again, we did it. Oh my god, I am so going to Islamic heaven, bro. Holy shit. The amount of fucking kuffars I've turned into Muslim by debating them into listening to the Shahada is you know, oh my god, dude. Oh my god. Mashallah, mashallah. I feel like this was a very formative movie in your life. Fuck no, dude. I was when I was in fucking Turkey, I was the most edgy Reddit atheist you could imagine, okay? I like purposely would tank my fucking religion class because it was like, why aren't we only learning about Islam if it's religion class? Why aren't we learning about any of the other religions? Like I was the worst, okay? I was the worst fucking you know, not like a former 4chan browser. It was too early for 4chan. We're talking about like fucking pre 2008. It was literally religion class that made me like the most like edgy atheist on the planet.
But God. And Muhammad is his prophet.
No God but Allah.
And Muhammad is his prophet.
I mean, that's Aladdin, bro. Straight up.
You won't believe it, Amal. He says all men are created equal in the sight of God. You have...
This movie was not made in 2010. No shot. This movie is old as fuck, bro. Yeah, it's 2002, bro. Look, yeah, 2002. That tracks. Yo, this blew my mind. We used to watch this exact style of animation about Jesus at my Christian school I was forced to go to. I think religion class is really good because it straight up, like forcibly teaching kids religion, especially in a formative year when they're like in their anarchist phase, is the best thing you can do. If you want, everyone will turn into at least skeptics. Okay, they will never become like full-blown zealots. No, it was made by Ridgecrest Animation Studios, directed by Richard Rich. What the fuck? Written by Brian Nissen. What the fuck? Who made this? Wait, he played himself too. He played like in the movie. It says English and Arabic, but it was in Turkish as well. VeggieTales slaps so much harder than this. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Yup, Sunday school is what did me. Oh, I had a lot of questions because fucking nothing makes sense and they can never answer questions past the book says so. Yeah, no, that's what it was. That is straight up what it is. I kept asking questions and ultimately it would arrive at a dogma and it like really pissed me off. I would like draw mosques and shit on my fucking religion paper on purpose. It's like the only class I failed. Well, I didn't fail. They gave me a passing C, or rather, in Turkey, a 3. Because we grade out of 1 through 5. I never understood like the whole A through F grading scale. It's so weird. It's weird because like, why do Americans use not the 1 through 5 system? And they grade through like a 4.0 system too. It just like doesn't make sense. Why can't you use 1 through 5? Why is there no E? Why isn't there an E? These are questions I have never understood that. What's up with American schools, man? Why no E? America's weird and make things so complicated so you don't realize how stupid it is. It's just fucking strange. Like you do a 4.0 system and you do fucking A through F, but no E. And then also, but you can get like higher than a 4.0 with AP classes. Anyway.
to take me to him.
I knew you would see the danger of Mohammed's preaching.
Of course I see it. He must be stopped.
You cannot stop Mohammed.
What?
Bilal, come back. You'll be whipped. They can whip my body, but not my soul. Fine, then leave your soul there, but get your body back here.
What do you know about Mohammed?
I know he is a prophet.
Prophet? You see? It spreads like a disease. The gods will punish you for those words, Bilal.
Muhammad says the idol gods are powerless.
Ah? Powerless? Powerless, he says. A slave says all the gods are powerless. Now, what do all of you say about Mohammed's harmless teachings?
Our nephew preaches against us, Abu Talib?
We also believe in an almighty God.
Well, yes, but we don't say all the rest are worthless.
What harm can be done by it? Those who listen to him are the poor and weak.
Not all. They have been joined by Abu Bakr. Oh yes, Mohammed's mighty friend has also deserted us.
He's only one man.
No! He is the first spark of a flame that must be extinguished.
Yes! If Mohammed's preaching becomes popular and the gods are abolished, there will be no pilgrims. And if there are no pilgrims, there will be no more us.
This is not very secular though. How is this allowed in Turkey? Bro, you're gonna be shocked to find out that we also have a fucking ministry of religion. Like, the fuck do you mean? Just because a country is secular, well, especially Turkey, is a very unique kind of secularism. But it doesn't mean that, like, you can't watch fucking religious movies and shit.
The messenger of God has sounded the warning call.
What? Is Mecca under attack?
I don't know. Come on. Sumaya, come to the Kaaba. Hurry!
Yasir, quickly, come.
What's going on?
I don't know.
There he is.
Up you go.
See the messenger of God, Huda? There!
He's about to speak.
And then the prophet, peace and blessing be upon him, said, "O people of Mecca."
Bro, POV! Muhammad POV! I feel like it's more like it's more of a blasphemous thing to just like be like, you're Muhammad. You know what I mean? Like, make you feel like you're Muhammad.
If I told you there is an army behind the hill coming to invade us, would you believe me?
We would believe anything from you, Muhammad. You've always spoken the truth.
And so he continued.
No, I mean, showing other gods are false and so on. This cartoon would immediately ban in India, bro. Oh, you mean to tell me that in India they would ban a fucking cartoon that shows that depicts the Prophet Muhammad, like a Muslim cartoon? That's surprising. What's next, dude? Are you gonna tell me? Are you gonna tell me that you know, Modi doesn't love Muslims? It's Schadenfreude, by the way, our resident Indian chatter who constantly talks about how the sick farmers are bad and terrorists.
O people of Mecca, I beg you, abandon your gods and worship the one and only God. Save yourself from the fire of hell, for I cannot keep you from God's punishments. I am only like the man who sees the enemy coming and goes to warn his people of the approaching danger in order to save them.
Our nephew is making a fool of us. Stop him, Abu Talib. Woe to you, Mohammed. Have you assembled us for this?
Dude, this is sick. Okay, we'll watch this later. That's awesome, though. I don't know about the messenger shit, but here, let's get back to the fucking cult anime we were watching.
Everyone wakes back up in their bodies. He has a vision of growing up to win the Nobel Prize and marry Yuko. And finally, they go on a long walk out to a field in the middle of nowhere so they can stand there and watch the credits roll. I hope I've demonstrated, if through nothing else than the sheer girth of the roast you just heard, that The Laws of Eternity is substantially sillier than any of the already kooky cult movies to come before it. The movies that come after it, on the other hand, only get weirder. So, the thing about the rebirth of Buddha, okay, it's a couple things, actually. First off, the main plot of this movie, holy shit, the cojones on this cult. Right, so in this movie, there's a new religion whose leader claims to be the reincarnated Buddha, who even has psychic powers, which he demonstrates on television. Obviously, that guy's a fraud.
The TV said that he was the reincarnation of Buddha.
Huh? There's no way that guy can be the Buddha. Because I know the real Buddha is...
Spoilers! It's Ryuho Okawa. I mean, they call his OC Sora no Taiyo, literally the sun in the sky, but they both wear the same gaudy suits, both do the same stupid cross-star exorcism thing, both emotionally manipulate young female celebrities. It's a one-to-one analog, basically. And pretty much the only reason the film gives us to believe that this guy in a fancy suit with psychic powers who claims...
Why did he make himself blonde? Dude, this is so weird.
Claims to be the Buddha is legit, whereas this guy in a fancy suit with psychic powers who claims to be the Buddha is a...
Also, like, is Buddha... Why is Buddha white? I mean, the motherfucker himself isn't even white. Like, what's going on? He legit whitewashed an Indian prince. Okay, but he also whitewashed himself, too. Books about Muhammad, Islam were banned in India even before Modi. Also, I didn't call Sikh farmers terrorists, bro. I said Jagmeet is a Khalistani supporter. I'm on farmers' side. I was linking you articles about how they repealed the farm laws. Okay. I love that his exorcism isn't like, you know, the lame ass Christian shit, the Father, Son, Holy Ghost, whatever, but he does a straight star. That's kind of sick. That's real anime shit right there. You know what I mean? I like that. That's pretty sick. With a fucking sword. Why do Saiyans get blonde hair and blue eyes when they go Super Saiyan? Who knows?
Big fat phony is source dude, trust me. That and the second dude dresses and acts like a B-grade supervillain. Secondly, the B-plot of this movie is, I don't know how to put this without upsetting people. What if Mieruko-chan joined a cult? One day, out of the blue, intrepid high school reporter Sayako suddenly discovers that she can read her classmates' minds and see ghosts. These ghosts are all mangled and dark and spooky and shit. Acknowledging their presence puts her in danger, and when they're not menacing her, they go around possessing other people and causing problems for them. Now, obviously, there are some differences in the lore here. Mieruko-chan's mangled ghosts are products of all different kinds of grisly fates and evil intentions. If you're curious as to what sort of grisly fate, Yazzie analyzes some of their designs in her hilarious new video comparing the Mieruko manga to the anime. Whereas in Rebirth of Buddha, the purpose of all the ghosts everywhere is to literally demonize suicide victims. Content warning if you're sensitive about that stuff, because this movie really isn't.
Suicides can't go to either heaven or hell until they spend their expected time of life in this world. So during that time, they possess family.
Bro, they were keeping it 55th Street. Never commit suicide. Everything gonna be all right. On Crip, dude.
Members, or cause other people to die at the side of their suicide.
It's some real Crip Mac shit right here.
Ugly from now on.
Everything's gonna see all right. Sorry, I said be all right.
All agree that kid going from 0 to ape shit with the baseball bat is pretty funny. 2, though, what the fuck, man? Why does the one afterlife punishment Jeffrey Epstein's not getting gotta be so harsh? To be fair, Rebirth of Buddha does mark the first point in this series where I can honestly call a happy science movie a movie. It's got real characters, an almost cohesive contemporary setting, and a story that's more than an excuse to preach and lore dump. Slightly more, as you just heard. That is still a lot of the movie's runtime, but like, the first bit is just about establishing the characters and the protagonist's big problem. When the evil spirits show up, there's no exposition telling you why they're scary, at least not at first. The movie just does its best to make them scary. Some are at least as scary as any of the ghosts in the actual Mieroko anime, though that's more an indictment of Passion's adaptation than it is a point in Rebirth of Buddha's favor. Still, admittedly, the film is competently executed, at least comparatively speaking. But at the end of the day, that only makes the kooky cult crap stand out all the more. For example, that ghost who pulled Sayako onto the train tracks is decently spooky. Spookier still because it's someone she knew, a reporter she once looked up to named Kanemoto, who offed himself after a misreported scandal ruined his reputation. But before the scares can even settle in, she's inexplicably teleported to an afterlife courtroom where a trio of judgy judges lecture Kanemoto about how suicide's disrespectful to God and tut-tut about all these foolish materialists stinking up an era where the Buddha's been reincarnated. That's foreshadowing, by the way. Then they spring the trapdoor to hell on.
Bro, literally, this is like, they put in so much work. They put in so much work to this fucking cult. Why is nobody joining it? Like, that kind of sucks, dude. Like, they want homies to join so bad that they're like dumping, you know, $1 gorillion into this shit and like only fucking 30K people. Wild. You want us to join because I'll do it for the lols? No, dude, I do not want you guys to join it. Bro, oh no, they did the cardinal sin. I just realized why people won't join it. It's like One Piece. The lore is way too massive. So it completely shuts off people from wanting to fucking join it. Because like nobody wants to watch that much content. Oh my God. It's like 1,000 episodes. So it's like, nah, dude, I can't fucking join the One Piece cult, dude. It's fucking bullshit. They're lore dumping, dude. It's too much lore. That's right. Bro, Chad forgot the whole reason we want to convert is alien Catboy Satan. Yeah, people don't join because they're always stopped by the ad at the top of the hour every hour. Yeah, I mean, actually, you guys are going to get fucking mad at me, but like, not only is that the last ad at the top of the hour ad break, I'm going to do the last ad break of the day right now because I got to go to dinner with my family. Even though I already ate, so I'm not even going to be eating, but I'm going to go hang out with them. I don't think 30K is a respectable cult size. I feel like it's not that big. I'm going to hit that anyways here. Okay, here it is. But hey, listen, we got content lined up for tomorrow. So there is that. We got Prophet of Mohammed. What do I have to do in the morning? No. We're good. We're good on that. Didn't do the no podcast this week for Leftovers. No podcast episode this week for Fear and Malding because Will's not here. So, you know, we got a lot of stuff going on, and tomorrow, tomorrow I'm still gonna do a stream, obviously, and we'll look at that. We'll look at some other stuff tomorrow.
Stunning lo-fi
and that's all I got for now. I hope everybody keeps it 55th Street. Thank you, iKit Nichols, for the 10 gifted subs. Okay. I love you all, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.
Stunlock to the Stunlock to the top, it's just begun. There he is again, Hasan is streaming, Hasan is streaming. There he is again, Hasan is streaming, Hasan is streaming. Reviewing the P.O. box, Uncle Euger's face. Sudden discord agitprop, great names take on race. Tiny Bernie Sanders, LGBTQ Air Force. The whole left at your fingertips, and Anya out your door. The H3 Crowder debate, the Young Turks online show. 3 full fucking years of this, and plenty more to go. 90-day fiance, talks of champagne bourgeoisie. A Trump rally live reaction, a mass riot in DC. There he is again, Hasan is streaming, Hasan is streaming. There he is again, Hasan is streaming, Hasan is streaming.